Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Back Charities Tyler Daniels Racing Veterans and First Responders League, race number 1, season number 7, 100 laps at Daytona. I'm joined in the booth by the Downer brothers, Jim and Jay. Jay, how you feeling about tonight?
Well, we got 6 seasons down. 7, they say the magic number is 7. That's what 7 was for Harry Potter. That's what we're going to do tonight. So we're starting out season 7. We got a 2-time winner. Searching for his third one there, Ethan Thompson. It is going to be fast. We got a lot of new faces in the field. I am excited about tonight. I'm ready to roll and get this season started. Jim, how about you?
I'm ready. Absolutely. We're at Talladega tonight, 2.5 miles of
We're Daytona, bud.
super race. Daytona tonight. I'm sorry. What did I say?
Talladega.
Yeah. Well, we were just from Talladega. uh, I'm here, but I'm wrong track. So again, high banked oval. We're racing tonight and big super speedway race. I've been watching some practice and it's been very interesting watching the boys trying to get together and run single file, seeing what the cars are doing. A few minor wrecks earlier, so it should be interesting tonight.
Absolutely, and it looks like from when I got the information earlier, and correct me if I'm wrong, they are running in it'd be sun up, so at the very beginning of the day. So the track is going to get hotter and slicker as this race goes on, and that's going to provide some very interesting racing today, especially if they're getting loose early. Then my car is going to get a little bit looser as this race goes on. What do you think?
It's Daytona, yes. If it definitely gets hotter, it will get looser for sure. Yeah, we got 22 cars on hand tonight, which is really a good job for the boys coming out tonight for the first race. And I do believe it's going to get a little looser as that comes up and put some heat down on that track.
Absolutely, Tommy. Welcome back to season 7. Here we are again doing this, and familiar face up here, familiar faces, new faces, not only in the booth, but also out there on track. What are your thoughts tonight going into it?
Man, I am excited. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make the last race last week. I had some work stuff come up, and I wasn't able to get in the booth. But I heard you guys did a tremendous job up here, and I would expect nothing less of you. I'm looking forward to this large field. Going to be a lot of drafting action. This is going to be closer to a true Daytona, a true super speedway event, as we've seen in this league as the field size continues to grow race after race, season over season.
Absolutely. We have a couple of new faces out there. Jason Hall in the number 9, he's a newer face. And Chris Brown in number 8, he's going to newer face that we're going to see out there tonight, rolling into season 7. Paul Bilson, he was out here a couple of times. He was like a part-time driver in the past couple of seasons, making his debut again out here for the first race. Mark Brewster, haven't seen that one before in the 22. Barney Sigmund, he kind of came on at the end there, and he's out there racing with these guys tonight. Keith Williams, and then a familiar face at the very one in number 21 as Paul Vosberg. So good to see Captain out here kicking off season 7. So we got a lot of new faces, a lot of older faces that we've seen. Oh, as we see somebody just come up and get on that. Yeah, they just really got down. And that's the 010. That would be the Robert McDonald. He's newer. He came on the last race. It looks like he got in the Christopher Rawlings there in that 01. Just loose. I mean, that's what we're going to see. He just got loose by himself down there and came up and just collected Chris right there. So that's a product of early in the morning. We've got some dew on the track, and the track's starting to heat up. So when your car feels comfortable, it's going to provide for some interesting features tonight for sure. Jim, I believe you have got some intel on the new point system. So why don't you update what the point system entails this season?
Yeah, they decided to add a couple of different stage points. In NASCAR, they do have stages where they throw the yellow, the field's frozen, and they count the points. We're not doing it lap 25 with how many cars in the field is split in half. So there's 22 cars in the field tonight. The top 11 will get points. The leader will get 11 points. We'll go all the way back to 11 to where they'll get 1 point. We'll do that at stage 25, lap 25, and at lap 50, we'll do the same thing, but there will be no caution flags. What that is to do is to entice the field to be racing all the way through the pack, get in position, get the points, A little strategy to help the the guys don't run in the top five all the time. It may help them get a little bit closer to get in the front. So it should be interesting to see how they'll work. Like I said, there will be no cautions, so it's green flag racing, and I believe under caution that at lap 25, that's when the stage will end under a caution flag. So we just count the numbers from 1 to 11 tonight, and they all get a bonus points. And worked on lap 50, same thing. So we're looking at you can get up to 11-point bonus or 22 points total, plus the win tonight, which I believe if you win tonight, it's 45 points plus 22. You come out of here with 60 some points. So
Yeah,
it should be interesting.
you said it, Jim. These extra points are what's going to make the racing more exciting through the entirety of the race. At a super speedway, a lot of the times the guys lay back, wait till 2 laps to go ahead and make the moves outside of the pit cycle. Of course, we're going to see these guys fighting hard all night because those extra points are so valuable when it comes to taking home that trophy board from B&B Wraps.
Absolutely, and we've seen quite a few guys get up there and take that B&B wraps as Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson have definitely got theirs when their most recent. So that's season 4, 5, and 6, I believe. So
Correct,
between
yeah.
the three of them. And we got Brian Boyd, who showed a lot of strength, a lot of speed, was leading that last lap. Showing up there in 5th right now, right behind Ethan Thompson. I think he may be a threat to watch this season. He's been moving his way to the front, and at Talladega, he was leading that last lap, looking at the finish line, and then unfortunate set of circumstances, he just went up and blocked, and that's just, something that he lived and learned from, but he also started on the pit road, came back from 2 laps to almost win it, so I would expect him to be very, very strong tonight. Watch him work his way to the front.
Out there in practice right now, they're running like 12 cars, 2 by 2 single file, just dealing with the air from doing these cars. It's amazing to see what these cars can do in a draft. They're just feeling the cars out, adjusting the steering ratios, and trying to get the best lap they can in practice to have this race.
Alright, so we're watching this pack right here. I mean, it's a familiar pack. It's got Andrew Bisnet. You can always tell Andrew Bisnet why, Tommy, that's your favorite colors on that car. That bright green, pink, and yellow. You can see him from space.
I'd find the Intimidator there.
And the Intimidator, I'm not sure who the number 3 is tonight. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. That might be Jason Hall.
Yeah, that's Jason Hall. I'm actually showing him as scored as the number 9. So he is entered with a number that's not painted on the car. I've had a conversation with him. I'm trying to get all that straight.
Ooh, as we got another one, and Christopher Rawlings involved again in that little scrum back there. So Christopher Rawlings, hopefully he can get that out of his system. That's the second time we've seen him go around. Takes out Robin Pardon there in the number 14, and then another constant here, Robert Cochran. Now, Robert Cochran just came down and hit Christopher Rawlings there, so he got a little bit loose coming off, went to collect it, and had unfortunately collected Rawlings with it. But hey, we got 3 minutes left to go, Tommy. I think we got some sponsors we got to get out of the way here before we start dropping the green flag here on season number 7 in Daytona.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll go ahead and start with the gentleman who provides the trophies for all of these seasons, 6 seasons and counting. Season number 7 in the bag. We have 6 previous winners who have a trophy from this gentleman. Ethan Thompson now has 2 of them as our first repeat champion, and that is B&B Wraps. Go check them out, facebook.com/b.b-racing-wraps. They used to do iRacing paints, but they no longer have time to do that. So they're doing real wraps, real race cars, real objects, other vehicles, from coffee cups to semi-trucks. If you need a wrap, B&B Wraps can do it. Go check them out, facebook.com/b.b-racing-wraps. Next up would be McConey Setup Shop. Jeff McConey, a man who needs no introduction to the TDR community, or at this point the iRacing community at whole. He's done a lot with new ventures coming up, so he just launched McConey Entertainment. I had the pleasure of being in the booth with him 2 weeks ago for a charity race that we did. And I just saw that he launched an event coordinating service as well just this week. So big things happening over at McCody Setup Shop. But of course, they still have the stuff that made it big. The setups, the apparel, the paints. McCodySetupShop.com. Their setups, your victories. And one quick shout out to the sponsors of the league, Back Charities, for putting the fun in funded and helping everything get going here at TDR. Had a very successful charity event 2 weeks ago, as I mentioned, with Jeff McConey's new entertainment venture. Raised a bunch of money to help a family in need and provide a little bit of financial support to someone who needed it, so we're very excited about that. Coming up, we do have a teddy bear race to support the Dayton Children's Hospital in Ohio. Last year, we sent over 600 teddy bears. This year, we plan to send more and do more. More details to be announced as we iron them out, but there will be some child participation from that hospital, so we're really looking forward to doing that. And we'll, I think it's late November that race is happening, but we'll follow up. Stay tuned, and we'll clue everybody in on when that's going to happen. And last up, I'll leave this one to you, Jay, is Tyler Daniels Racing.
Yes, Tyler Daniels Racing. We race 7 days a week, starting on Monday nights. It's always reserved for our vets and first responders at 8 p.m. Tuesday nights features our most popular league up here in the booth, hosted by Jim Downham, is the Tuesday Night Trucking Series. On Wednesday night, we do Xfinity Series. Thursday nights, we're going to continue the SR rates. That series just wrapped up, and now we're moving into another season. So come on out, be a part of all the action in the SR rates. On Friday nights is the Friday Nights Evolve Series, or Friday Night Light Series. We're just now wrapping up. We got one more race in the ARCA Series, and then we're going to be moving on to trucks before that wraps up for our 5 Series, before we know where we're going to head next. On Saturday mornings is our Legends Series. So if you like joining the Legends, come on out and join the Fall or Winter Legends Series in the Legends cars. And then starting October 1st this week, there's going to be the 87s. Bob Rilou is going to host the 87s at all the older tracks. So if you like nostalgia, come on out, grab those 87s, dust them off, and bring them out for Saturday night racing. Sunday nights always feature our Gas and Go series in the Next Gen Cup cars with playoffs. So it's kind of like we race actually in this series of the spirit of NASCAR. We get narrowed down to the top 16. We're whittle our way down to the champion after so many rounds. So come on out, be a part of all the action every night at 8 p.m. except for Saturdays, or run Saturdays at 9:30 in the morning. And like I said, except for this Saturday coming up, will be 8 o'clock. We'll be running one leg every night at 8 p.m. And that wraps up our Tyler Daniels Racing League schedule. And on the bottom there, you'll also see the schedule which coming up for this race for this series. So you'll have the dates and everything. Now, they are subject to change, obviously, with things that go on throughout the country throughout the course of the season. But this is a tentative schedule of where these guys are going to be. So if you want to know the next race where everybody's going to be at, check the bottom of your screen. You'll be able to see that scroll across the bottom there as we get qualifying underway.
October 8th, I believe, might be October 10th is an off week for a holiday, and we do have 2 races on January 2nd and December 26th. Expect those to be moved for the holidays.
As we got the number 1 out there, we're showing 1, but at 1 is Andrew Biznett, so I'm not. That's got to be another new driver out there. Put down the time here.
All these new guys, you really got to walk through how to fill out these registration forms.
Yeah, we got to get these all straightened out. So once we get everything straightened out, we'll be fine. Sorry, so that's Chris Brown that you were seeing there. He's in the number 1. So get out your pen and pencil. We're going to need to make some scratches and changes. So here at the track tonight, with driver changes, who's driving for what team and what number, if you have a favorite driver out there that you're going for. Now out there in the YouTube chat, Lahoma Randell says Boyd's sister's here, Jessica's here from Jessica Vosberg, Andy Biz is out there, saying he's always looking forward to it. 420 says we're here, baby. I'm not sure if that was just somebody calling us out or just if they're here. Tyler Daniels, good luck TDR Warriors. This is going to be a fun race tonight. Lahoma Randall, good luck. And then we're back here for Brian. All right, so 420B1ZZ31T. I hope we got your name right there for Brian. Hope he gets that gold. He got me hooked with that Talladega race and had to watch us on the stream. Really need to change that. We're going 420B, so we'll just call you B. How about that?
It's just a rumor, but I heard Ryan Shelton might be rolling his car off the hauler right now.
Yeah, he did come in late tonight. I noticed that he had some hauler issues, and he is here. He's unloading, and he will be reckoned with. With no practice, I guarantee you he'll be running up front.
And absolutely, Ryan Shelton did put a challenge down last season, but unfortunately, life got in the way of that challenge. So let's see if he can fulfill it this season in season 7, the magical series of 7. As these Warriors are out here battling it out for 100 laps tonight around Daytona. It's going to be 3-ride racing at times. I don't know. We've seen a lot of exciting events here at the super speedways. A lot of last lap passes. It's lived up to its billing, so I don't really expect anything to be too different tonight. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, definitely. I believe, with Ryan Shelton really committed. He's going to try to make every race this year. This season, he's trying to win the points championship. He hasn't won one yet, so he's really itching to get that championship. But Ethan Thompson's been strong. I understand he did some adjustments on his pedals and his wheels, and he's back up running 100%. Had some issues in the last couple races where his brake was applying as it was going down the straightaway. So he's got that issue taken care of. So Ethan would be strong on the super speedway. Andrew his net is always strong on the super speedway. And don't forget about that. He's got a really sharp looking chrome paint tonight on the car. I mean, looking at some of these paint jobs on these cars are really sharp looking. Brian Boyd, I believe he'll be up front running. So it's going to be interesting. We've got Chuck McDonald, Luke. They're all contenders. Each and every one of these guys, anyone can win tonight out of the 22 that are present.
Yeah, and that seems to be the great equalizer, right, Tommy? I got to go get a package, so I'll be right back. Somebody just knocked on the booth door, so I'll be back in a minute, guys. So go ahead and take over. I'll be back in just a few moments.
I guarantee someone dropped off donuts for us. He's out there eating all the goodness.
He probably picked them out.
The little pink one with the sprinkles.
Yeah, I want a cream donut or chocolate glaze. It's really good. So.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of new names out there, a lot of returning drivers that we know have a lot of speed, and 3 of those new names coming in are sitting in the top 3 in qualifying. Everyone knows qualifying at Daytona isn't that big of a deal, but if they can show speed by themselves, you can guarantee they're going to show speed in the pack.
Yeah, I mean, my hat's off to Ethan Thompson and Boyd, Brian, really trying to pull the bigger and bringing in some people. And this week we were hammering, putting drivers in the new roster. We had 6 or 7 that were put in just this week. So the roster's pretty good. Just get everybody together. We could have a full field with all the cars now if everyone shows up in the same race.
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of these guys with their military commitments and work honor commitments to make it every night. We appreciate it when they do get out here, and yeah, we have enough drivers registered to fill the field every night. Looking at, I think it's 21 drivers starting this evening. I think just about everyone's gotten their lap time running around here with our Elmore. Any idea what Elmore's first name might be?
That I don't know.
we should have had somebody send us a list of all the names now. Looking good.
All right, I'm back. All right, I made it back. So I'm back up here.
Did you say any good donuts for us?
Elmore
Yes, I did.
His first name is Ryan.
Ryan Elmore.
Ryan Elmore.
All right.
Well
So
done.
we're trying to figure out who's in the 15 car, the black coffee car.
Yeah, that was Ryan Elmore in the
Number 15. There's Chuck Mc. All right.
Black Rifle Coffee / Yeti cooler car.
So we got 8 minutes left of qualifying. I do not
Yeah, well,
see Ryan out there yet.
Yeah, Andrew set 15 minutes for qualifying. I don't know what the reasoning is, but 15 minutes of qualifying time to run for qualifying laps. I don't know whether he'll forward the session or if he extended it for Ryan Shelton.
Well, that's just a few extra minutes for us to display that beautiful Tyler Daniels Racing logo and give people a chance to look at the schedule again, scrolling across the bottom of the screen.
Absolutely.
And check in with YouTube chat.
Oh yeah, let's check in with YouTube chat. Jim, you see anybody out there? You got YouTube up there?
Yeah, I'm working on it here. Let's see.
All right.
Erica Johnson says, hey. Zach Brewster. Here comes Mark Brewster in the 22. Ooh-ah.
Ooh
Ooh-ah who? Or ooh-ah.
ooh
Ooh-ah. Right. And then the 420 Blaze It. Sister Sookie is on her way back from Florida. She is not going to be attending tonight. So she said good luck to each and every one of them out there. And thanks for all of them for serving.
Oh, she was in
Um,
Florida and didn't even come see me.
no. She's heading back to Florida. She was in New Jersey. She's
But
heading back. So
Oh, back to Florida just in time for the
back to
hurricane.
Florida. Well, that's why she's going back early. She's got some work she's got to do around the house and button the hatches down. So she'll be traveling tonight. So a little travel mercies for Sister Sookie.
Yep, everybody down here in Florida is preparing, and our thoughts and prayers to those that will be affected by this. We don't know where it's going to go yet, but it definitely will make landfall somewhere in the state.
yeah, my son's already home today or tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. So it's going to be skirting off my coast here. Starting tomorrow, it's going to deteriorate. Wednesday, we're expecting the worst of it, and then out of here on Thursday. So we're ready. I'm prepared. But I'm here tonight in Daytona.
You know, if you prepare all year, you don't have to rush out and buy bread and milk and water on Monday.
That is very, very true.
I went to one of the stores today. Everyone's out of gas already, out of water already, and it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's real world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
On the qualifying chart, though, Jason Hall just inched out Chuck McDonald by 1/100th of a second. Ryan Elmore, who we were looking at in that black rifle coffee car earlier with Keith Williams put down, and Paul Bilson all put down the same lap as well as Brian Boyd, Andrew Bisnet, Ethan Thompson are 3/100ths behind. And then Luke Desjardins, Robin Parton are 4 and 5 hundredths behind. It is a close, tough, close, really close field in that top 10.
Yeah,
Team 11.
there's really not a lot of talent to qualifying at a super speedway. You know, you get out there, rev it up, get to full speed, hit your lines. But you look at how close those times are through the top 10, and you can't argue that the top 10 is showing a little more talent right now than the rest of the field.
Well, I
Just
wouldn't
a
say
little, just a
talent.
little.
No,
Top
I
11.
would not talent. They just got a really good. They may have got wind down going down the backstretch to help them push along the way, and could have had a little cloud cover.
That's right.
So
That's right.
yeah, it's a little bit of luck as far as what you get when you go out there, and you try to run it as clean as possible, and don't turn the wheel that hard, and hold your breath. So,
And I
Absolutely.
apologize for any of my coughing and noises on air. I cannot mute my mic this evening. I am having some issues with the headset here.
No problem. We
So
can deal with that.
enjoy my additional background noises. I'm sure there'll be a cat in here meowing any moment.
That's okay. Other people got fancy stuff like, commercials. We don't have that. We go live, flag to flag, open to close. There is nothing that we can't handle, nothing that we
I
can't
got
do.
commercials. I got all these fancy buttons to put the graphics up. I mean, as I'm cycling through them for our audience. We got this boat.
All right. So what do you expect to really see tonight? Jason Hall, Brian Boyd puts it up there now on second spot. So he put down a fast lap. Improved on it the first time. Brian up front, man. Jason Hall, Chuck McDonald. He's been really more marching his way to the front. Like he's on a mission there. He's been basically cutting people down and taking names as he's been working up through the field, even in any other events that we've been doing this week in the league. Ryan Elmore haven't really. I mean, these are some guys we don't really talk much about, but they're up front from the guys that we normally see in this league. Keith Williams, Paul Bilson. Before we get back to Andrew Bisnet, Ethan Thompson, Luke Desjardins, Robin Parton, Mark Brewster's another name that we haven't really talked. I haven't seen anything from him. Devin Zimmerman, Robert Cochran, who's a steady here. Christopher Rawlings, I mean, we've seen him work his way to the front. Unfortunately, he's been. Hopefully, he got that bug out of him tonight early in the practice, and he can hang in there till the end. Barney Sigmund, Robert McDonald, Eric Stiles, another one we haven't really talked about. 17th, Chris Brown, and Bradley Hunt. I mean, these guys are a few mixed in the field. What are you expecting to see tonight?
Some tight racing. I'm looking at the times everyone put down in qualifying. The top 12 are separated by less than 8/1000ths of a second. And
that's
we
pretty
don't.
close to that.
Even going all the way back to the 19, looks like 19 out of 21 cars did put down a qualifying lap. I mean, there's less than 3/10 between all 19 cars that put down a time.
Yeah, in less than a second in between everybody. So, I mean, it's kind of it. I mean, you're talking at the start of the race, who's going to hang back, who's going to get those early leads. And now with the points, I mean, Jim, I mean, with the new point system, you can't argue. That's really going to shake up the field, especially the guys who like to race in the back and work their way to the front.
Yeah, the guys they're not going to sit in the back when it gets around lap 25. You're going to see the front runners get up front as close as they can for these points. Yeah, I think it's really going to throw a nice curveball. I think it's going to help out the point system, where if guys miss a race, they may be able to pick up a couple of points coming back. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens.
I mean, you're talking about 10 points a race that is up for grabs in those point stages. So per stage, so that's 10, 20, that's what, 30 points that are given up. I mean, that's a huge amount. That's a huge swing to be heading for that top spot. So if you're up at the front, I'm sure you're going to want to get that extra 10 points because second, third, I mean, that can really add up. That would have shaken up the point system last year. And we could have had a totally different leaderboard at the end. So it's going to be interesting to see. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think the intensity, the whole race is going to be up there. You know, we run a much shorter race than they do in quote, the big leagues in NASCAR, right? So lap 25, you know, that's a quarter of the way through the race, and 25 laps at Daytona, even though Daytona is a big track, those laps come by quickly. I think we're going to see the intensity through the whole race, trying to get those stage points as well as the final race win. It's going to be stacked up a lot tighter than we've seen traditionally here, with only having points awarded after the finish, and there might be a little bit of chaos involved with that as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one or two yellows based on some moves that maybe shouldn't be made.
Yeah, that's going to be the key is who's going to go be aggressive early. They do have one quick repair, so they do have one chance to kind of make your mistake or get it mixed up in somebody else's mistake, go down and get it corrected, and then be back out there. And then after that, I mean, you're at the mercy of your driving and how aggressive or, you know, how laid back you want to be driving this thing. But, man, we're getting ready to go racing here. I'm excited. They're getting on the grid right now. Gentlemen, start your engines. Let's get this season rolling. Jim, why don't you walk us through and tell us your final thoughts here before we can start rolling around for 100 laps?
Well, I suggest everybody just tighten those belts because we're going to race them. It's going to be 2 wide, 3 wide. Guys taking chances throughout the back, getting to the front. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens tonight.
Absolutely. What do you think? Should we try and get one of the front runners up here and talk to him, see how the race is going to go? Maybe talk to our champion from last year and see how he's going? Or maybe Devin? Let's bring up Boyd. He qualified second. So let's bring him up and get his thoughts on the night. Ryan, this is Jay up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Jay, go ahead.
Hey, buddy, welcome to season 7. Looked like you were strong. Put that car in second spot. What are your thoughts going in tonight before we start taking the green here?
We're going to just have to ride around and hopefully we can withstand the controlled chaos, if you want to call it that.
Right?
Well,
So
if the thing like anything like Daytona, definitely. We're excited to see you tonight, Brian, and we thank you for the bottom of our hearts for putting a push on to get more guys out on this league, and we thank you for that. But good job.
Absolutely, not a problem. I am not going to stop either.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right, we're going to get you down there. You guys got to tighten them belts and get ready to go 100 laps. Good luck to you tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me move back down there, and we're about ready to go racing again here for season number 7 as they roll down the back stretch. I'm really expecting these guys to go 2, 3 wide early, trying to fight for everything that they can. Track position is going to be key. His tires really aren't that much of an issue. I suspect 2 tires early. Oh, right off the bat, we've got Brian. We got into
interesting.
That was very interesting.
takes out Jason Hall right there on the very start. Wonder what that was about.
I imagine
I'm
we're
sure they'll
gonna get.
extend that out.
Is
Yeah,
it
We're
they're
gonna
gonna
costing
extend
extend
that.
this. What was that? Let me see if I can.
somebody? I believe Brian Boyd had a steering issue.
See if I can back that up a
Um,
little bit.
listening in on the drivers, and sounds like possible steering issues.
Yeah, Brian Boyd just seems to fade down.
And just wow, right off the start.
You know what? At a track where you need friends, that's not a, not necessarily how you want to get it started.
It's
I
not the way you
think
definitely want to get started with these seasons.
I believe it was mechanical failure that caused that.
Yeah, I say that as a joke. That was interesting. Hopefully he doesn't have too much damage there.
It was very slow. I mean, it was slow. You know, they're under pace, so I don't think that that's going to affect them too much there.
Yeah, but pace they're running 55, 65 miles an hour.
And he's going to get back up to the front. I really don't see too much damage on that car from where he got hit, so we should be okay right there. But man, that was an unusual start to that start of the season.
So, yeah.
All right. Well,
I
hey.
hope
Well,
that's no inclination of what the season's going to bring here, you know?
all right. Well, he said he was going to not let go. Yeah, I don't see any damage. Like I said, it was a very slow, even on the front there, it seems to be.
Looks like he's got a bit of a wrinkle in the spoiler there, but it's not a. I don't think it's too bad. We'll about to find out because he's on the lead.
Even if he stays, oh, now what's he doing here? He's gonna drop. The scoring got him because they rounded the.
He's gonna get a wave around here, I think. Or maybe he is scored correctly. I'm sure there's some confusion after that. You know, he fell back, had to sort himself back up to the pole position.
All right, well, you got. Well, here you go. Let's buckle them up one more time as they come down. It looks like we are going to take the green flag this time. As we got the pace cars going to come off of turn number 4, duck down pit road as we got these guys lined up and hungry as there he goes. Gonna go set that down on the end. Hopefully it'll stay there for a few laps. And right off the bat, there you go. Jason Hall gets a huge jump off of Brian Boyd, bringing that bottom, but that's not going to be something that you want to do here is get too far out front. As that pack, you can see clearly starting to gain up on him in the turn number 1. Jason Hall on the bottom there, Brian Boyd on the outside, Chuck McDonald there in second spot, or a third spot, depending on where you're looking at. For a second spot on the bottom row there, and they're just going to try and get this sorted out, probably go 2 by 2 the first few laps. Don't see anything getting lined up. Jim, what do you see out there, bud?
Well, I'm watching the back half of the field, and they're running pretty much single file, getting lined from, I guess, 15th on back. They're getting lined up single file, and they will catch the field back up again to 2 by 2. Other than that, it's typical Daytona racing. We thought we'd see a lot of the 2 by 2 for sure. Too early to go 3 wide, but I believe this backpack will work together, and we're just going to ride for a little bit.
Absolutely, as they go 2 by 2 down in the turn number 1 for lap number 2 of 100. We got 98 to go. Don't forget, they got stages tonight. They are going to be green stages. Unlike the NASCAR where they throw the caution for the stages, it's going to be green, and the top. Now there are 20 cars out there tonight, so top 10 will receive points from 10 down to 1. So that's going to be extra points. So we see Chuck McDonald take that outside line away from Jason Hall. I'm wondering if maybe Jason may be experiencing a little bit of aero force that he can't really keep his car out front. Or he's just trying to fall back a little bit, maybe fall in line and figure out where this car is actually going to run tonight. As we see Chuck McDonald go. Oh, we got 2 in the ball. We got Grease. Somebody gets turned around.
Jason came up. He, I don't know where it was, an arrow, but he did come up and run into the wall, and it caused the situation, and gathered a few of them together.
You let my registration expire.
So here we go, as we got now. First caution on lap number 3. So Chuck McDonald takes the lead. We got. All right, so. Well, what do you think, Tommy? That was kind of an interesting turn of events there, huh? As he comes back. And...
I feel bad for Jason there. He kind of got the short end of the stick before the green flag even dropped, becoming a victim of the mechanical failure that Boyd had. And then that incident there, I don't know if it was something with the arrow or just, the guy didn't give enough room on the outside, but it involved in 2 incidents early on. And I believe he did decide to pack it up and put it in the hall.
All right, so that's not first casualty of the. Well, he is on pit road right now. I'm not sure if he's out of the race, but it does show him 1 lap down at the present moment. It does say he's out, so yeah, maybe he did have some over issues. Not sure why that would happen. He did have that quick repair, so we shall have to see what's going on there. Maybe he had some mechanical issues and didn't want a chance that I'm not sure. But now our points leader, our pole sitter for race number 1 is now out of the race. So that's one series of events. But it puts Brian Boyd now. Chuck McDonald had a strong run going in early. Brian Boyd and Brian Elmore is up there. Paul Bilson, Luke Desjardins. He had a good little run going up there now. He's sitting in 5th. Eric Stiles 6th, Ethan Thompson 7th, Christopher Rowling 8th, Robert McDonald 9th, Andrew Bisnet in the 10th and final right now if it were to get the points, but we still got 21 laps until that happens. Robin Pardon, Mark Brewster, Barney Sigmund, Devin Zimmerman, Brad Hunt, Paul Valsberg, Chris Brown, Keith Williams, and Robert Cochran round out our field. I did not see Ryan Shelton actually get in time, so I'm wondering if maybe he didn't make the time split tonight. What do you think, Tommy?
Not 100% sure. I saw him getting that car off the hauler. It looks like he is tracking 5 laps down, so they did have that car on the racing surface for a moment at least. May have had some sort of issue that catched on, I think. Shame to not see him out there, especially after I got excited seeing his name on the board. But we do have a handful of takers down here on pit road. I'm sure they're getting
Sorry, I'm back.
topped up with fuel to try to make it a few extra laps.
Not a problem. Yeah, I think that's going to be a strategy call. But hey, Jim, welcome back.
Sorry about that. I fell off the stool in that wreck. I got so excited I jumped up and stripped my ankle and fell down and missed the I apologize for that. And
That's the best note.
we might have to go down to the care center to get it wrapped up. But we're back, so we'll see how it goes here. And I don't know what's going on with Ryan Shelton. I don't know if there's technical issues with tech or what's going on. So we'll have to stay tuned with that and see what's going on. But meanwhile, Brian Boyd is leading. We got Chuck on the outside looking, and we got the Ryan Elmore running 3rd, and 4th we got Paul Bilson. So there's a couple new names up front in the group with Eric Stiles, and then Ethan, our championship from last year, last season. Then we got Christopher Rollins. So it's going to be interesting to see what these boys can do.
As we see, Luke is now showing out of the race as well. So something might have happened with Luke. He was just running up in 5th. I know that Luke has been dealing with the gremlin with his. So that's unusual. I'm not sure what happened there with Luke.
I'm still showing Luke on track. I'm actually following right now with one of the cameras.
Oh wow! So I'm not. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with the scoring, but now it's showing that as we see Luke out on track, but he's falling down in the leaderboard out there.
Yeah, I mean he's running around. He may be trying to catch the field back up again. Maybe had an issue on the caution.
I'm looking, according to my scoreboard, yeah, everyone's still on the lead lap, except for Paul and Shelton, who have both abandoned the race.
Looks like Jason Hall maybe rejoined us. So maybe he had some internet issues? Chris Brown, I'm not sure what is going on, folks. I do apologize. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of crazy weather out there.
Airplane taking off in the background there. Daytona International Airport.
Well, I think they're taking off with the scoring because I don't know what the heck's going on right now. So, but wow. All right. Well, as it sits now, I can tell you right now that number 78 Wounded Warrior Project number Mission 22 Toyota is sitting on the catbird seat with Chuck McDonald. So, in that Canadian Forces car, every time I see CA, it always confuses me because in America, CA is California.
Yes.
But from there, it's Canadian. So I always catch myself. Gonna have to get probably another couple seasons under my belt before I'm used to that. But we know where he's from.
We'll get that.
Right, Jim is back in the booth with us, and hopefully he's got some ice on that foot after falling off his stool as the pace car dives on the pit road, and we get lined up again. Back to green.
Luke did get called up to the field though, so he is back in again.
So we got Chuck McDonald falling in line behind. Ooh, yeah. Well, they got a nice little jump because there's a little bit of a gap in between that field, about 3 or 4 car lanes back before you get to that second pack there. Here they come right now. Oh, we got a little blinker there on that number. It's at 22 on the outside. That might be Paul Bilson. Looked like he blinked out for just a moment. Comes back in right behind Chuck McDonald. So he moves up to the second spot right now. Ryan Boyd's going to hang down on the bottom there. So we got there's that Ryan Elmore is on the outside leading that high back, but looks like the bottom line has more energy and momentum as they're just going to start logging some laps here. 8 of 100. You want to be in that top 10 in order to get those points. And right now, you're looking at the top 10 as they sit. So you just want to get that separation from that second pack, and they did a really good job. I mean, 2.5 seconds back to this first pack to the second pack, and man, they did that in a hurry in only a lap and a half. So
yeah,
if these guys can get lined up,
organized. Even the front, they need to get single file, and they can pull away from that backpack. Right now, the backpack are running two by two, but the front pack, if the front 5 are running single file, if the 20 car and the other car jumps in line, they'll definitely be able to pull away a little bit more. And that is your top 10. So we got how many more laps before lap 25? We got another 15 laps to go before the stage, and right now the top 10 are there.
yeah, and that's what they're going to be fighting for. And every point matters in this league. We're going to start off strong. Hopefully we can have it strong. It would be nice to see 20 drivers out here every single week, but we know that that's just not feasible, especially with these guys lining to work. So every point is going to be a matter of, and I've said it from the very beginning, it's easy to give away and hard to get back in these points. So every point that you can get, you're going to have to fight for. And tonight is a wild card race, so you're going to want to try and get all you can to start out your season. Just in case you do have a drop week, it's going to give you a little bit of a cushion in case somebody else doesn't show up.
Yeah, it looks like the inside line's working. Brian Boyce coming back. He's back to 6th, I believe, right now, and seems to be dropping back. And they'll be tucking in line behind the 0-1 car, I believe, after they get lined up. But the pack behind them have now single file, and they're going to try to close up on this pack. Right now, I believe the back pack is running a little bit quicker laps than the front pack because they're all single file in the back.
Yeah, if they can remain single file back there, they're going to be able to definitely get together. That's led by the number 42 car of Keith Williams. So Keith Williams is leading that pack right there. You got Paul Vosberg. Now, Paul that's a new looking scheme for Paul. He's got a nice looking purple car. We're used to seeing Smokey the Bear car, but got to be different to see him this season in that. So hopefully he can get back up there. But no, these guys just stay in line, do what they're doing. The front pack is, they remain 2-3 wide battling for position. It's going to definitely bring these guys to them.
Yeah, it's nice to see Paul Vosberg here. He's been out west fighting fire. Glad to see him here tonight.
Absolutely. He's a part-time driver, but we love to see him out there. Jessica obviously is his number one fan. She always chimes in. So Jessica says, new car is looking awesome. Paul, hope it brings you some luck tonight. And 420B says this race is already action-packed. I'm assuming he's talking about earlier. And it has been action-packed from the drop of the green flag. Actually, before the drop of the green flag. Oh, as we got a little bit of a shuffle here. There that is. All right, so Paul Bilson gets into the outside. Oh, and he came off the front of that.
Oh, poor Barney. Barney just.
No.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to bring out caution on lap number 12, but there was a big.
Man, I think Barney lost his false tooth in that wreck. Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, you could just see. Okay, so it just pulled down. It was just an action. Somebody came up, though. I mean, I'm not sure if that was. Did not know he was there. Tried to just catch up. Oh, Barney just.
No place to go. He went low, hoping he would miss, and he hit him dead head on. So,
yeah, here you go. So here's a in-car shot. You can't see anything in front of you. You see, and then boom.
Nowhere to go there.
Poor Barney. That's a shame.
Well, they do have that quick repair they can use.
Yeah, he's got to get on pit road, and hopefully he can drive it back without having it towed.
But Paul Bilson running up there, that's really going to shake his night up a little bit. He's in the pits now, so he's going to fall back. That's, man, that's one heck of a hit, especially when you're running up front, just trying to get to lap 25, get some stage points, get some things underway. As we see, Chuck McDonald is now stopping on the front stretch. There's got to be some sort of scoring issue there.
I think for the pace car, they're all waiting for the pace car, Jay.
Okay, there's pace car goes by. Okay. All right, so you're getting lined back up here. I'm like, wow.
The pace car's got to be leading, not Chuck. Chuck is the leader, but he's got to wait for the pace car.
They're figuring out something back there with the scoring.
Yeah, they're working on it.
All right, so here we go. The joys of iRacing is brought to you by the Back Sports channel and Back Charity. So,
It's like
Look
Chuck
at the
McDonald got it
look
figured
at
out.
the pace car. Look at the pace car. Looks like I got a new paint job on the iRacing pace car.
Man.
It's really good.
yeah, they got it.
Oh, I've never been inside the pace car. Look at the steering wheel. That's custom.
There you go. There's a custom car that you can't have ever.
Right along with the pace car drive.
That's awesome.
Well, that's inside his visor there that you see. So he's got a direct line right on down the track. So.
Don't see a lot of action at the pace car.
Oh,
Yeah. Watch these guys get lined up. Chuck McDonald, Robert McDonald. So the two McDonalds are going to take the go down. But we are 13 of 100. We did see guys pit earlier. Come down and get extra fuel. We know that there's not going to be a caution, so that's something that you really can't bank on. Getting a caution at the stage. So what do you do at this point? If you haven't pitted, I'd say you go down and get your pit. Or do you hang out and wait till after 25 and then pit?
I believe the general rule here is send it.
Yeah, I think if I was in the back, I'd come in and pit. They can go like 40 laps on a fuel run, and the other guys don't have to pit sometime or other. So, depending on what stage you want to be, score a number in, you can play it that way.
Right as our 11th place is the only one on pit road. That's Paul Vosberg came down. Oh, we got another taker there towards the back. So 2 takers on that round of pit stops there. We got 12, and I think I think you're right. We're going to just run this out, get our stage points.
There's
Chuck McDonald's
Jason
looking
Hall back
really
on track.
He must have had an internet drop, some packet loss, and got back out there. That's the only thing that I can think of as to why he dropped out.
Oh, good to see him back on track for a minute there. I thought he was a quitter. I'm glad to see he's back out there and doing the best he can to get some points in this first race.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. He's gonna fall a few laps down, but you never know in these things. I mean, big ones happen. We haven't really seen the big one yet. That was almost close to being the big one up at the front, but there was only a few cars involved. So,
But they
You
were
never
lucky
know.
because they were all coming through, and it happened in the front and that back line, and that's where Barney was in that single file in that back line, and they called him, and like I said, they just had no place to go when he got home. Poor Barney, I really feel bad for him. He deserves a better break than what he got on that one.
Yeah, that was tough, but that's super speedway racing. Sometimes, no matter how good you are or how hard you try, it's just not in the cards.
Yeah.
So, hopefully he'll go get his quick repair and come back out there and fight hard. And the more cautions we have, the more opportunities there are for a lucky dog in the waiver.
that is true.
Absolutely.
And I believe he's still on the lead lap. So I think everybody is still on the lead lap at this point from what I'm showing on the scoring. All right, so here we go. We're going to wrap him back up as the pace car goes down on pit road, and green is out again, and Chuck McDonald's going to get a nice little run, take over the front stop spot away from Robert McDonald, and there, Ryan Elmore, Christopher Rawlings, and right on the bottom of Christopher there is Ethan Thompson. So Ethan Thompson's worked his way to his front of the neck, and Devin Zimmerman. So I don't know. This is going to be one of those seasons where does the Cream Ryer re-rise back to the top? But man, I'll tell you what, Chuck McDonald is coming out and making a statement tonight. He has worked his way to the front, stayed up front, and he is bound and determined to be there.
Usually Chuck runs in the back and just lets the laps come off. But seeing him up front, it's really shocking early to see Chuck up front.
And do you think that has a lot to do with the stage points? Because you can't point staying in the back, and we all know how those stage points can lead to a championship, especially in this game.
Yeah, I mean, definitely could be a part.
I was gonna say to your we know Chuck McDonald positions through attrition. He stays consistent, kind of hangs out in the back, looking for opportunities to make his way up and get some points. And I think we're gonna see a whole new Chuck. The last couple of races of season 6, we did see Chuck get a little more aggressive, a little more fighting in his car. And I think we're just seeing that now at the next level.
Absolutely, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Robert McDonald, I know it's Forces, but is that also another Canadian driver? So are the two Canadian drivers maybe working together, trying to stay up front? Because
McDonald's a pretty common name in the Canadian community.
I know he has Forces on the side of his car, and I see that Chuck has Forces, but I'm not really sure 100%. But don't quote me on that, folks out there. But Ryan Elmore, he's having a good run tonight. He started relatively close to the front. Hasn't really let these guys get away. I mean, he's looking really strong too. Another newcomer to this league, and he's holding off. I mean, you talk about some heavy hitters for the vets and first responders. Because I would see Robert McDonald going to try and take that high side and take somebody with him. He's just going to go right around. I'm not sure if that was a move, maybe by Chuck, just to try and save some fuel.
Well, when you said Forces on the backside, I just looked at the rear view of his car, and they do both have Forces.ca, and I wonder if we might have a little bit of Canadian teammates out there trying to take it to the U.S.
Yes, we got Luke out there, but he's running in the back right now, just in Canada. So maybe they are pulling together the Canadian posse.
There you go. So we got whoever they are strong. They've been out front. Chuck obviously drove his way to the front and has not looked back. I think that might have been a move. Just let him go by and try and save some fuel until we get to lap 25 or the first couple pit stops. No need to really chance it right now. Just want to make sure you're on the same strategy. And we got a little bit of that outside line is starting to work around. But in between that separation, now there's only about a second and a half between that and the second pack there, Robert Cochran.
I've never seen teammates, one in a Chevy and one's in a Ford, so I don't know what's going on there. Definitely dual manufacturer teammates. Is that possible?
They must have spilled maple syrup on their notes.
Evidently.
Right. Well, it's more like the Olympics, I guess. We got, Canadian teammates out there rather than manufacturer teammates. So, but at the very last lap, nobody's anybody's teammate, nobody's anybody's friend. It's everybody for himself. So, as you see that separation start to gather, and these guys are just weaving all over the place back there. Sure if that.
Well, a lot of it's air.
Jim.
A lot of it's air, but then moving around, and depending on the steering ratio, it's a lot to do with it. The more ratio you set on your wheel, the more sensitive the wheel can get. If you open up the steering box where you can move the wheel around and the car doesn't move all over. There are a few adjustments they can do on that to stop that from happening. But a lot of it's air. Air can play a strange thing running 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, air does definitely push around, especially on these cars with that diffuser in the back, so you're not able to get within that car bubble like you were before, go nose to nose, push somebody unless they slam on that brake and kind of break that bubble for you, and that's the only way that these guys can get lined up nose to tail. As you can see, that diffuser obviously just pushing that air around, moving these guys high, low, and yeah, Ethan Thompson has been looking on that high side, trying to get somebody to go with him. I'm surprised Biznett didn't go with him at one point, but yeah, he works his way to the front.
Yeah, but they're just running. They're just testing the water right now. They're running 2x2 and seeing what's going on, and they're just testing it out to see what they can do, what they can't do. It's still a little bit early yet. They got four laps to go for the stage, so they're all getting in position for that. So Tommy alluded to it earlier that lap 25, it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be. Going on here. We're getting ready to go 3 wide here.
They are going through right as Ethan Thompson gets down on that bottom. That's not really the spot you want to be, as he's going to come up, and you can see them guys just get loose going through that turn. Everybody was fortunate enough to gather it back up. Great driving from all the drivers up front, and now that's going to put Eric Stiles to the front. Eric Styles going to lead him down. He's going to get a lap, so I do believe you get a point for leading. Do you not? Or do
I
the...
am not sure whether they have the bonus lap for leading those laps. I'm not sure.
With the new point system, it's kind of hard to take place. I know they used to, but he's going to definitely go in and race his way right to the front as Ethan Thompson
Robert
really
Thompson.
took it down.
Taking
But
the
it's definitely
outside
fun. We'll
line
get
here.
together.
A point.
We'll get together with Andrew Bissett on that end of it, as far as points, leading laps, and all that. Find out exactly what's going on with points. So we're out on lap 20 for single file on the inside. You got two cars on the outside. Whoa! We got
Down on the bottom there is Brian Boyd gets
that's called a little dirt track and all things.
a little bit. I mean, these guys are really racing for this position. We'll have to go. Robert Cochran now and Devin Zimmerman, and there's the two that are always together pretty much. Because you got Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson. On the outside, you got Chuck McDonald.
Where did Devin come from? He was running in the back.
Yeah, these guys are definitely getting wide now. He took that 3 wide, and I think when Brian Boyd went right, everybody checked up a little bit. Devin was right there to collect, and right now he found his way around and really raced his way to the front. Devin Zimmerman to the front now. Lap 23 coming down lap 24. Next lap will be the money lap as we see Robert Cochran now gather those guys up inside there. There they go.
And
now we got
right
Chuck
there,
McDonald right there on the back. He's going to push Devin Zimmerman around. He wants it badly. He's going to take as many points as they can. And a race like this, it's all man for himself. I would not be surprised if they do not make it back around because it looks like it's the last lap from Talladega. Chuck down on the bottom. He's going to bring Robert Cochran with him. Devin Zimmerman down to the outside is going to leave that outside line. Do they have enough of a battle to go down the backside? Yeah, Chuck McDonald, Robert Cochran, look at that out front of Devin Zimmerman. And Chuck is going to play that both sides. Let's hope that does not bite him like it did Boyd at Talladega. He's going to have to make that move right at the right amount in order to keep these guys behind him. Chuck McDonald coming down for the... and somebody gets turned around, and that is Ethan Thompson. Ethan Thompson gets turned, and I believe got collected up by, is that Brian Boyd? Or, man,
Thompson gets turned there.
and it's showing Devin Zimmerman takes that at the line. So Devin over Chuck McDonald back to the line. He's going to get that valuable point. But man, Robert Cochran in fourth. I mean, what a run.
That was the money lap there for the points on lap 25. So, but Tommy called that earlier. It's just like you knew it was coming. You could feel the intensity brewing as they started getting into lap 25.
I'd say lap 22, 23, you started to see some of the names we recognized from last year moving up there.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we got a little bit of a break here in the action. Since there is a caution on the field, I'm going to see if I can dial up Devin Zimmerman and get his thoughts since he's the race one or our leader going into it. So let me see if I can get him up here and in the booth with us, and hopefully he's available. Devin Zimmerman, Jay, up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Man, what a run. Congratulations on your first points in stages there. So that was exciting.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. I completely forgot about the stage for a second. Then I realized we were close. I was like, all right, I got to go.
And you won.
What do you think about adding these stage points? We have a caution, ironically, here, but without the caution, what do you think of these stage points being added?
I love it. I think it's a great idea to introduce it. It provides a little bit more racing. You get to see things like that at a super speedway. You get to see guys. I'm actually battling some technical issues. My throttle pedal is not registering 100%, so I'm kind of operating at like around 98%.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting to judge the air and the runs, and I'm not really having to play it smart. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. I mean, we're having some troubles, but we're out front. So
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to put you back, right? I mean, keep it to the floor, buddy. You're doing a great job. Congratulations on your stage win. I'm going to put you back down there, and good luck the rest of the race. Thanks for talking to us.
Appreciate it, fellas. Y'all have a good one, and thanks to all the fans watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, he said it. That was exciting. And he agrees that the points are a fun addition, right? It does add that extra aspect of you got to kind of go before the race is over, and we definitely saw them go. So I think that change is working this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, after you get 10 points in your pocket, um, that's it does help you in the long run. So as you can see, Devin took advantage of it. He said he knew it was coming, and he said he had to make a move to the front, and he capitalized on it. So good job to him.
Now, with all the excitement with the new points and the rules, and it's a whole new season and schedules and all that, we never really talked about tires and fuel. I assume at Daytona tires aren't a big issue. What anybody know what the fuel load is here?
It's about 40 laps, give or take. 40 laps is about the max. I tested it earlier today. Like magic number was 40. Working in traffic, you might be able to push it to like 42, but
Yeah.
40 is the magic number.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't point out early on too is we will see some longer races. So I believe we ran 80 laps of super speedways the previous 6 seasons. We'll be running 100 laps this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to add definitely more excitement into these fields. And plus, you got stage racing now, so it kind of divides it up. So I don't think we're going to see too much of a run going through it. But man, Daytona is living up to its billing. We had a lot of cautions tonight, as Jessica has pointed out. Yes, we have had a lot of cautions. And Neil says, let's go to Biznet. 420B, super spicy already. Nice job. Devin from Tina Miller. So Devin's mom is out there, so she's cheering on her son. And obviously, with 98% throttle, that's going to save fuel, guys. You think Devin has enough to save in a tank to go an extra lap or two with 98% throttle?
Well, he might be able to save a lap or two, but I'd rather have 100% rather than 98%. I mean, he'd be good running in the back of the pack, running behind somebody. He could run, because when you're behind somebody, you only run half throttle, three-quarter throttle. So,
I'll say 98% to me, not that big of a deal. Just keeps me off the other guy's bumper.
well, that will definitely help. Definitely help.
As we get these guys lined back up.
But to give credit where credit's due, he's got a bad accelerator pedal, and look where he's at. So I wish I had a bad accelerator pedal like that.
Same here. Pace car pulling off.
As we get ready to take them back down, Devin Zimmerman, Chuck McDonald on the outside, and green flag is in the air, and Devin Zimmerman's not going to be, the one who's going to get out front. He's going to make sure that back goes with him, so we don't get that favorite position that he's having tonight. Chuck McDonald's on that outside. Really doesn't have too much help right now, but he will be getting help from Robert Cochran here in just a moment. As we got Robert McDonald down on the bottom side, and then that Jason Hall back up there in the number 3. 9 car, he's working down on the bottom, and then you got Brian Boyd, who spun a little bit earlier, backed up there. Paul Vosberg on that bottom line. Chuck McDonald on the outside as we got Jason just jumped up to the top side. He's going to try and peg that. Ooh, somebody gets down. Who's that? Is that?
That's Vosberg, isn't it? 21?
Good save down there.
Ooh, come on, Paul. Save it, buddy. Save it. Oh, man, he's getting down pit road. He's probably going to get a caution flag for just keeping it on. Yeah, he's probably going to get a black flag just for going across that pit road, but he did manage to save it, so great job with that. Merrick Siles, something happened with him. I think he was involved in that last accident. He is officially out of the race right now. Chris Brown is the official one lap down. As we're back up front now, as we see Devin Zimmerman kind of gave it up. Jason Hall back up to the front. Here comes Chuck McDonald, not really letting him have that glory too long. Going back down in front of Devin Zimmerman. So taking it 2x2 all the way back, and then he got another separation there as he's got to start in single file out. Just getting back up to that lead pack. You can't let him get it too far away.
Oh, Jay, I did check on Paul Vosberg. I watched a replay on that, and he did not go down. He did not get a penalty for pit road.
Oh, so we got a wreck on the front stretches. Ooh, Robert Cochran is involved. Looks like Jason Hall? No, Robert McDonald is involved. Robert Cochran got involved in that. Took a huge hit. Oh man, so they just got together coming down that front stretch. Sorry, Jim, about that, but there was a.
Looked like
That's
the,
okay.
Jason.
You were calling the shot. So.
Robert
Yeah.
McDonald up into Jason.
And then just, ooh, man, that's a tough break for Robert Cochran. Just had nowhere to go during all that.
Well,
So I think
I
we,
was just gonna say Jason Hall too, newcomer to the series, had a little bit of adversity early on in the race. Fought his way back up there, but back to the end of the lead, caught up in another issue. No fault of his own.
yeah, I mean, caution lap 31 right now, 31 of 100. So we're down to 69 laps, 68 at the line. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there, but there was a little bit of excitement.
No, we're just talking about Paul. He thought maybe he would hit the commitment code line and would be penalized by the penalty 5 bucks free play, and he did not. So
That's good.
he did not get penalized, but now he did lose a lot of track space. But now with the caution out, he's regrouped, he's back in the field, and can gather back in and still be in the hunt for the win.
Yep, and that's super speedway racing too. There's a lot of chaos. Ryan always said we had earlier, you know, that controlled chaos. You got a lot of guys that know each other, and we have a lot of guys that don't know anybody.
Very
so
true.
they're that wild card. There's a lot of unpredictability out there. That's probably why we're seeing a lot of cautions. I'm willing to bet when we go to Talladega and again, it's going to be a lot cleaner, a lot less cautions.
Yeah, like you said, and you know we had that in the TDR leagues. We had a lot of new guys on board, and you're not familiar racing them, and everybody's got to learn each other's on what you can do and what you can't do around them. And you're right, Tommy, with the new guys on board, with the old guys, you got your rookies and you got your veterans. And,
and that's nothing to fault the new guys either. It's just that
absolutely not.
you know, the quote unquote veterans, no pun intended. You know, don't know these guys, don't know how they race, kind of how much room they're willing to give each other, and that tends to lead to a few more cautions than we normally see in these leagues. But of course, we encourage them to keep coming back out and learning each other and how the other drivers are on the track is how you get your W.
Yep, exactly. But I see right now that Chris Brown and Robert McDonald and is 1 lap down, and Eric Sal is 4 laps down.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a series of unfortunate events here that have occurred, but it's Daytona. It's everybody's racing hard, and it happens. I mean, that's just part of it. You got to learn to live with it. You got to learn to race these guys. Daytona, everybody does it. Hey, the professionals have to do it, and these guys have to do it. You got to learn who you're racing against the rest of the year. Just that it's their Indianapolis 500 Super Bowl of the year when they first start out every year. So is the season when we come back here every time. New faces, learning new people, learning how to work around it, and work to lead. That's why it's so hard to get a W up here as well.
That's the beauty of motorsports, and on the iRacing service specifically, the beauty of league racing. When you go to the officials, you're racing against strangers the whole time. That's why they're so chaotic. You get involved in the league, you race the same guys week in, week out, sometimes multiple times in the same week, like with the host of league we have at TDR. That's really what makes the best racing out there, is knowing who you're running with, knowing who respects you and who to respect, and sometimes knowing who to put the bumper to.
Absolutely. So we got a lot of veterans that are veterans out there. No, absolutely not. Just go back and watch a few of our races and you'll see who does that. Anyway, we'll go back to the front as Christopher Rawlings now leads them down. Bradley Hunt stayed out, so I believe those two stayed out on track. They're going to be at the front. Barney Sigmund, who had that spin earlier, had that unfortunate wreck. He's sitting in third. I believe he pitted earlier, did not come back down around to get his pit stop. Andrew Bisnet, Paul Bilson, Luke Desjardins, Devin Zimmerman, Chuck McDonald, Brian Boyd, and Ryan Elmore are your top 10.
Yeah, I think we've had so many guys on and off pit road over these past few cautions. The fuel strategies, I don't have a clue where anybody is on fuel.
I got a little idea here. Christopher Rawlings pitted on lap 26, Brad Hunt on lap 26. Barney is questionable. He pitted on lap 13. Bisnet pitted on lap 26. Paul pitted on lap 27. Luke 27. Eric on 32 on back. So give you a little insight there as far as who pitted what. But my concern would be Barney, with pitted on lap 13. It should put him okay in the window with the cautions. So I'm pretty impressed the way he has come back.
Yeah, Barney is doing a great job hanging out there. I mean, like I said, he's 21 laps now on fuel and tires, and he's just hanging out there. But the way that this race has been going, I wouldn't count it out that within the next few laps, he may get that caution, be right back in there and right to the back of the pack. I mean, that would be a great
Well,
comeback for Barney.
he's running third right now, so like I said, I mean, I believe he can make it to the end of this stage until the next, and then he'll pick. But we'll see what happens. You know,
Absolutely, as
and
a
go back to green.
green flag back in the air as we've got Christopher Rawlings going to take a huge jump down on the bottom there. And left Bradley was sleeping on the outside. Not sure what happened to him. He missed the pit as he fell back in a hurry from that second spot on the top side. But now they're going to get riled back up. Now, yes, he's definitely bouncing all over the place up there. So Christopher Rawlings is going to take that inside to outside. Barney Sigmund's going to come around, and he may actually get the lead a lap here. Jim, what do you think?
It's great. I'd love to see Barney lead the lap. It's something to talk about all week. It's exciting to see him running up front after that mishap earlier, and look where he's running right now. That just goes to show you just got to be patient and run your line and run your race and let it come to you.
And look who's right behind him, the guy who they got into him. So Barney Sigmund and Paul Bilson, who got together, and those two are now all fighting for that top spot.
They shared gladiators earlier in the race, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So, so it's
like they're dropping back a little bit now. The outside line seems to get a little bit faster right now with Barney and four car right behind him. But line up going down the backstretch. We'll see what happens. They're side by side and get ready going to turn 3. Brad Hunt found the accelerator finally and is pushing down the backstretch.
Yeah, Bradley Hunt is one of those drivers. He'll hang back there. I think he's more of a pusher than he is a leader. Doesn't really feel comfortable out front unless it's going to the last lap. But right now, I mean, these guys are, you just see them just snake all over the track. But man, Christopher Rawlings now jumps down to go to bring Barney Sigmund in the second spot. Amazing comeback for Barney. Great to see Barney out there. Paul as well, as those two were involved in that earlier incident and now running second and third. Bradley Hunt's going to fall back, but there's Devin Zimmerman right there. And we got Andrew Bisnet pushing Brad on the outside, as we've got, looks like Chris Brown on the bottom there is going to be coming up, and he may be working on that. Not going to get back up on that top side and try and bring Bradley Hunt with him as he just try and moves that outside line now. Going to move up, try and get that information. There's the number 10. That's Luke Desjardins. Like Luke had a little bit of an issue earlier. He fell back. Oh, as we got another wreck. So there you go. Is that Chuck McDonald into the outside wall? Gets collected by Bradley Hunt. Man, so our earlier event. So Barney gets his caution.
Brad Hunt's in the wall. So
yeah, it looked like
yeah,
McDonald up into Brad Hunt there as I rewinded back. Let me get on Brad Hunt's car here.
Just see him coming down, and I mean, oh, Brad just comes off of that wall, comes out right into the back of Chuck. Probably fighting a loose car because he was showing loose earlier. Ooh, Andrew Bisnet gets involved. Who's that up front there? Is that the Bilson? No, that's not Bilson.
It was Elmore, Ryan Elmore.
Elmore. Ryan Elmore gets involved, and that's a shame because that's our pole sitter, Ryan Elmore. So, wow, what a turn of events this is turning out to be, and it seems to be, you know, one of those.
This is restrictor plate racing at its best.
Indeed.
This is why you either love it or you hate it. You know, it's one of those things where you're just along for the ride on some things and it's beyond your control. You know, and, but look at the circumstances. You go into quick repair, come back out, and see what Barney's done. You know, he's him and the 4 car have come to the front, probably enjoying every minute of the ride. This is Daytona. This happens. And
now I'm really surprised that Barney didn't go down pit road, follow Bilson down there. I'm not sure what that was.
I think Barney's looking at points. I believe that he feels he can stay out, run up front, and looking at the points.
Okay.
That's what I believe anyway. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not in his cockpit and I'm not talking to him, so I'm just assuming that he feels that he can make it to the lap 50 and then he'll be pulling off and grab a couple points and come off down the pit and come back out and see what he can do. But banking on a couple more cautions by doing that, by taking that gamble, and he's way out of sequence of everybody else. So we'll see what happens.
Right, and you got to figure right now he's got 26 laps. Plus, he had we're at about 5-6 laps of caution underneath of that as well. He should be able to take it out to lap 50. So you may be right on that strategy. You should have enough car to get him through there at least lap 50. But man, he's been strong. I mean, he really didn't let go. There was no fading. Guys pitted behind him. So there you go, Tommy. Those tires or fuel really isn't that much of an advantage considering Barney was able to hold on and maintain that second position, as Christopher Rawlings also had issues and he's out front as well. So we're at 38 of 100 now, so just about coming to that point where they were starting to get lined up again. And like I said, there's Brad Hunt just came out of nowhere, just tagged Chuck McDonald. Unfortunately, he led early. I was really surprised to see Chuck back that far, but I guess it's just a product of there was nowhere to go in that draft. Tom?
I think Tommy stepped out for a minute, so
Okay, his technical issues continue as we're sitting here watching the race. Jim, what do you think about that move by, Chuck? Because Chuck raced his way to that front for that first stage really early and then sat back.
I didn't see exactly where Chuck is and where he was, so I'm not sure what happened there. I mean, it's unusual for Chuck to be sitting back with the points, buying his time, I guess, and he's looking for the long run. So we'll see what happens.
And I think I just heard a coughing coming from Tommy. Tommy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Not sure if you heard all that conversation. We called you up here a couple times. You went silent on it.
I heard my name briefly. I was busy messing with the cameras and the names.
Gotcha. All right, so the top 10 now as we reline back up before they come off of turn number 2 here, or turn number 4. Christopher Rawlings, Barney Sigmund, Devin Zimmerman, Luke Desjardins, Brian Boyd, Paul Vosberg. Great run back up to 6th there. Ethan Thompson, Keith Williams, Mark Brewster, and Chris Brown are your top 10 as we're getting ready to take the lap number, I believe is 40. So 10 laps till we get stages.
And old Jessica got on the chat, said for hubby missed another treasure. Good job, Paul. Keep your head in the race, baby. He's being cheered on off the couch from his bride.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's doing a great job tonight. He's been up and down in that leaderboard. I'm not sure he may have passed about the most cars tonight.
Sorry, better be lucky than good. So.
Absolutely, as we're getting lined. Green flag is in the air as we've got Christopher Rawlings going to take him out once again across that start-finish line. Down into turn number 1, he's got Barney right there on the back corner. That outside line just does not seem to get that momentum on every start. I'm not... Have you seen
because you really got to be on the game and watching that. It doesn't take much to miss that outside line. And, it may have been planned to get spread out a bit, get single file. As you can see, the first 8 cars are single file now. So you don't know. You don't know what these guys are planning because they all communicating with each other in Discord. So it's very possible they try to work together and say, okay, let's run some laps, behave ourselves in single file, and let's run some laps before laps.
Yeah, and you can just see that hornet's nest start to build up, especially with as many cautions as we've had. The field really hasn't been close together all night, so there really hasn't had that normal separation that we would see. It's also a super speedway race. Most of the time, what we will come into, if you watched our series before and watch these guys before, there's separation on pit stops sequences. That just hasn't happened tonight. These guys cannot get away from each other, so it's been close racing all night long, and now we're coming up with 9 laps to go before, or 8 at the line before we get our stage points, and I can see this hornet's nest start to build again. A lot of energy. You're going to be patient.
Zimmerman's kind of floating to the front again here.
Yeah, isn't that something? So
Yeah.
some smart moves, moving through the pack very precisely. Picking through. Yeah.
Chris Brown's going to take it down underneath and push him out on the outside and take it with him. That
And that last Armstrong was last. I mean, and now he's leading the pack.
So Keith Williams was 5th at the line and now 2nd coming back along the backstretch.
You got Keith Williams who's running 2nd in the 42 car, doing a really good job tonight. You got Rollins behind him, and then Barney. And then you got the outside line with Dennis Zimmer leading the pack on the outside.
Chris Brown there in the number 1.
You know, I don't think there's too many guys out there tonight that either are saving their quick repair, because there's been a lot of incidents tonight and there's been a lot of hard racing. The only 2 people that I probably think of that haven't had an issue tonight we haven't really talked about is Andrew Bisnet. I haven't really talked about him, so we haven't seen him get around, but the rest of these guys I think we've called either getting around or in.
Because that was in that little incident with the 420. Yeah.
Okay, we'll scratch that, throw that thing out the window, and my information guy is now fired.
Yeah, no, I'm not keeping track as far as who's in what and where, because who's got a quick repair left, we have no idea. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. You know, we're coming up on lap 34, or lap 45, I guess. So we got coming up on 5 to go. Again, top 10 get points. They're all lined up and counting where they're at and seeing what they can do to get another point in their hat.
All right, so there's 3 guys in this pack who are not eligible for a point right now. So there's going to be some movers and shakers up there. Andrew Bisnet, Ryan Elmore. And look at another corner around. Oh man, Paul Vosberg got turned around. Luke Desjardins got turned. Oh man, so Paul doing a great job tonight. Worked his way up, trying to get some stage points. Just went a little bit high. It was that product, just that. Oh man. So wow.
Can't be drafted in the corners. You can't be bump drafted.
Who was that in front of him? Oh, that was Paul Bilson that was in front of him. Or Bilson, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bilson. So he just got in the back of him. Maybe a little bit too aggressive there. 5 to go. Oh, man. And Cochran again.
Cochran
no
back
place
into
to
that wreck.
As we see the damage now on Paul's car. There's Luke Desjardins. His car is pretty much... Yeah, so that's like the 2nd or 3rd hit that Desjardins has taken. We saw Paul. I'm not sure if he has a quick repair or not, but we'll have to just keep an eye on that. Hopefully he just saved it enough so he can get back out there. But I know Luke Desjardins was involved in an earlier incident as well. But man, what a turn of events. 45 now, 100. So we haven't even hit the halfway point. We've seen more cautions in this race than we've seen in the past 2 seasons of the best race, by the way.
Most of them are green flag races, and yeah, it's they're not separating from each other, and this is plate racing. This is what happens.
You know, I'll tell you, while we don't like to see a lot of yellow flags, we feel like it takes away from the competition. Every green flag lap we've watched tonight has been exciting. It has been
It has.
intense.
Yep.
And that's just a product that just these guys could not get separated from each other. Normally, like I said, we see 1 or 2. They'd be a pits or a cycle through strategies. They would be spaced out a little more. They just can't get that separation. Every time they think that there's a separation, it brings them right back together. So it's just been nothing but green to about the separation. Somebody makes the move, and and then you got to wrap in there. We're only 5-6 laps. People trying to get points. You had 13 guys that were racing for those points. You're going to get a little bit more aggressive as you get around, trying to get that position and make sure you have at least enough. If that way, if you get past, you have a position or 2 on you, and you just got to take whatever you can. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. And I'll tell you what, if the rest of the season is going to be like this one, it's going to be a long, exciting season, guys, especially from the ones that we've seen in the past.
You ain't lying.
Well, Brian Boyd, he didn't throw many practices this week. Usually he'll, like the Friday night or so, he'll throw up a 3-hour practice before the boys to practice a little bit together, and I don't think he did it this week. As you can see with the new guys, and that's how you learn. You all practice together and work with each other, and I think this is a lot of product of what Tommy said earlier is the drivers not knowing each other and knowing who can do what can do who, and who to follow and who not to follow. So
yeah, well, like you said, Brian Boyd's been really good about throwing up those practice sessions, and they even invite guys that don't race in the Veterans League to come join them. just so that you have that element. All that practice helps so much, especially when it comes to learning the other drivers.
Sure it does.
Well, we got 4 laps, so we're going to go back with probably 3 or 2 before we get those all-important stage points. Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson, Chuck McDonald, Keith Williams, Brian Boyd moved his way back up to 5th. Chris Brown, Barney Sigmund, Paul Bilson, Andrew Bisnet, Christopher Rawling are your top 10. Ryan Elmore, Robin Pardon, Mark Brewster, Robert Cochran, Paul Vosberg, Luke Desjardins, Jason Hall, Bradley Hunt, Robert McDonald, and Eric Stiles is your top 20. That's the entire field tonight. But we have Luke Desjardins is now out, Robert McDonald is out, and Eric Stiles are out. So that's going to put us wrench in the field, but here we go. The way it's been going, though, Paul is only 1 lap down after that incident, so he may get a lucky dog, especially the way things have been rolling tonight. As they come out of turn number 2 down that back stretch there, and we're going to get 1 lap. The green pace car is out on the top of that car. Guys, what do you think? So far, it's been exciting, huh?
Yeah, I'd say. Like I said, although the race has been hard with a whole lot of yellows, every green flag lap we run has been some of the most intense racing I've seen in a super speedway. Not a lot of laying back, it's a lot of jockeying for position, a lot of fighting for those stage points, and I think that's doing exactly what it was designed to do, and bringing some very exciting, very competitive racing to the screen.
Absolutely. I mean,
Look who's up front now. We see Devin and Ethan, Chuck, first, second, third, and then you got Keith running 4th, Brian Boyd 5th, Barney's still hanging out in 6th place. So this is really a good race, and you're starting to see a little separation with the different guys with each other out there. So this is going to happen now. Pit stops at lap 32, just like our last stop. So we should be good to lap around 72. We'll see what happens.
as the pace car goes down, green flag is out. And Geico restart zone. Devin Zimmerman on that bottom line. 2 laps until the money lap, and Devin Zimmerman finds his way back up front again. Ethan Thompson is right there, and Chuck McDonald. Ethan Thompson's going to lead that top side, but you got Brian Boyd, and then right behind that, here comes Paul Bilson up there in that number 4. As Chuck McDonald's just trying to try and catch right on the back of Devin Zimmerman, try and create that separation. Chuck's in really good spot. He's going to take that. Takes an aggressive move. That was an aggressive move that he made to dive down underneath, but he, you know, when it comes money time, I guess Chuck is going to put it all on the line for this season, so it's good to see a little bit more aggressiveness from Chuck. As we got Brian Boyd now, like, those cars are just everywhere all over the track, and the track heating up, making these guys slip and slide all over the place as we're coming up now. Next lap is the money lap. Devin Zimmerman on the outside, Chuck McDonald on the inside. You got Brian Boyd pushing Devin Zimmerman on the outside, or I'm sorry, that's Ethan Thompson pushing Devin Zimmerman, Brian Boyd on the bottom, and then right behind that, Keith Williams. So you got a whole bunch of guys right here that are fighting for that top position. Top 10 back to Andrew Bisnet is what you're seeing out there, is Andrew Bisnet is in that number 1 pink car. Barney's going to dive down, try and catch that in underneath from Bilson. Now they come down out of turn number 3. This is the money lap right here. We've got Ethan Thompson fighting Devin Zimmerman. Back to the line. Who's going to be? Devin's got the outside momentum. Ethan's got a little bit more momentum coming through, but at the line it's going to be Devin Zimmerman again with the stage win at lap 50, and this time they cross it without any incident. Good, Jim, take it away.
Yeah, we got Devin in front, and then the Keith, and guys between the separator. We have a couple of 1 car's up there, running hard. Barney's hanging in there. I think Barney's back in 10th or 11th, and the 2x2 going down the back stretch.
Yeah, they are definitely racing, and we actually made a couple of laps as we've seen that number 1 car just dive down underneath. He's going to dive right underneath Keith Williamson. Chris Brown's now going to dive down. He wants that bottom lane. He's going to take it as now Devin Zimmerman goes to the front. Right behind him is the number 1 car, Chris Brown.
Yeah, Chris Brown has certainly shown some natural talent here. His first race out with the bed, and we've talked about this several times tonight. He's what I want to watch here going into the next few races of the season.
Yeah, and he has been very strong. He's shown his way up to the front. Showed that he could race with these guys, especially a lot of these top runners.
Keith Williams too.
that we
on
have
the
up here.
outside.
As now you got a major push on the outside there, as Devin Zimmerman's still going to maintain that top spot. But that outside is really coming into effect, and I'm not sure who's leading that top side, but that looks like the number 42 car of Keith Williams, as they got a huge run down that back stretch. Is that? Can't really see who's on the bottom side there. That's the one of Christopher Rawlings. Christopher Rawlings now back to the front. So, wow, what a race we got going on here, guys. As they're just jockeying for position. Christopher Rawlings now leads them down on that bottom side, but that top side had a huge run, and then all of a sudden that bottom side just came up down the front stretch. So
Yeah, Christopher Rollins a lap before that was running lap 7, position 7, went from 7 to first in a lap.
oh man, now that we got this all settled down, officially halfway through, 49 to go, so the rest of this race should be just logging some laps. As I see Christopher Rawlings start to just lose a little bit of internet connection there. That can actually hurt you, especially in a longer run and especially at a super speedway like this, because when you blink out like that, you also lose all that air force around you. So he's going to have to rely on Devin Zimmerman and the rest of those guys, so hopefully that won't be too much of an issue and get it straightened out here shortly, or that could be a major problem coming up as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, halfway through, what do you guys say we crank it up?
Let's crank it up. As they come back to the line, Devin Zimmerman now leading the way back again. Christopher Rawlings there, I mean, he's just blinking out. I'm not sure what's going on with Christopher. Hopefully he can keep that rolling here. But that bottom sign seems to be definitely the preferred line right now, as they have a little bit more energy, look a little more organized.
Like,
But that top lane,
when you're following a car that's blinking, it's nerve-wracking because you don't know where he is when he comes back to the front. But he seems to be holding his line though, so which Devin knows and just following where he's going. And he blinks because when he comes back, he's in the same spot.
yeah, that's what you can really hope for. But Christopher Rawlings has led. We've seen him actually work his way to the front. He's a very strong racer. He knows how to get around, knows how to win one of these races. Been around TDR, very strong competitor. And good to see Christopher Rawlings leading a few laps, especially in front of Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson. I mean, you know, leading season 1. I mean, if there's any race to lead, this will be it, huh? Tommy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna say to Jim's point, yeah, it's scary following someone who blinks. Fortunately, he's leading the race, so worst case, when he disappears, Devin slows down. It's not like a short track where you really run the risk of driving up into that car when they reappear, when all that net code happens. I'd much rather have it happen on a super speedway, but you know, ideally not at all, but it's just a part of what we have to deal with in the iRacing.
As they cross the line, I think this is officially the most green flag laps we have run without a caution, so we're down to 44 to go.
And the most caution laps in 2 seasons.
And 2, I think, yeah. So Daytona is definitely proven out to be, but everybody is abandoning that outside line and diving down to the inside line, so I think maybe they have finally figured out exactly what they're going to do. There may be one more pit stop coming before the end, as we're about 11 and 12 seems to be about average for the field right now. Some have 20 laps, so there's definitely a couple of strategies that are going to play out. Nobody is on the same fuel strategy, and now with these guys getting lined up and back around, you see that separation though that's back. I mean, there was about 3.5 seconds. So that second pack is going to start catching up if they remain side by side. I'm not sure if that's what you're trying to remain for, but yeah, as we see Paul Bilson on the outside there trying to get around Ryan Elmore and work their way to the front, but it's just not enough energy on that outside line. They need more help out there, but it doesn't look like a lot of those guys are going to willing to give up that bottom and just forced to ride that bottom and get a few laps, maybe go the cost or go through the pit cycles, green flag pit cycles, get some more separation, and then figure it out to the end. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, definitely. Getting tucked in line and just run some laps, and and hope that your pit stop's right to get back out and go to the front. So it's still looking you're gonna run into two on the outside. Looks like Brad Hunt just came back out of the pits after his pit stop. He's also up the outside. Still holding their own. That's between Biznett and I think they would add up a little bit and get behind Brian Boyd and just run some laps. So what's happening here is the cars behind him again.
Yeah, they did pull away a little bit with that bottom line just staying single file. Even though those two are on the outside, they're really staying far enough off of that inside line, so they're not pulling that side draft and pulling the cars back as that kind of like just two cars. And I'm really surprised to see that Bilson and Elmore are just hanging out there, and they're really holding their own. They really haven't fallen back. You'd think that normally they would be freight trained underneath, especially with all that momentum on the inside line, but we do see that Brian Boyd has gone back a little bit off of that pack, and they don't watch it there, and he's in danger of losing that front pack, and then he'd have no choice but to fall back to the second pack.
Yeah, just noticing the 22 of Mark Brewster now catching up to the leaders of that quote-unquote rear pack here. He's been carrying more speed than any of them running by himself, so I wonder if the 14 and the 90 here don't have a little bit of aero damage.
Ooh, as we get a little bit of that was almost close. As Bilson just got loose coming off of that top lane, and now that's just going to leave Elmore out there. But Elmore had enough time to get down. I'm not sure why he didn't dive down on the bottom, unless he's not feeling that his car is comfortable down there, but he's going to have to make it comfortable if he wants to stay up with those leaders, as we got 40 to go.
Might have been a little bit nervous there too. He's one of the newcomers, doesn't know everybody on the track. Definitely doesn't want to make a bad first impression. Maybe didn't want to rub anybody the wrong way by making a move getting down on the inside there a little too hastily.
Yeah, like I said, we have 40 to go. So right now would be if Jim pulls it out and our statistician says they can go 40, 42. This would be the lap that they would want to pull down and take it to the end of the race. But I thought we had Chuck McDonald going down, but you just dived out of that lap.
I was getting ready to pull it.
Yeah, you'll see probably around lap 70 will be the average. Looks like lap 70 will be the pit stops. Christopher Rollins did pit on lap 46, so he's going to be 4 laps short, but the majority of the guys pitted around lap 32, 38, so I believe around 70 you'll start seeing some action on pit road. So meanwhile, the crew's getting ready. They're doing the one loading up back on their guns, loading up the guns and getting the jack ready to go, and getting ready for the next stop.
Look at them working hard down there on pit road.
Yeah, they're working really hard, aren't they? One's eating ice cream.
Yeah, one's
drinking a Coke.
Yeah, well, I think one guy just went back and checked if the hot dog stands were ready yet. So yeah, we got a lot of action though coming up, because this isn't the end of it. These are what you call the calm before the storm, so to speak. Knock on wood, I got that storm coming. Me and Tommy, we're down here in Florida. So this is the calm before the storm, as they say. But right now, as we got it, Christopher Rawling is on an 18-lap run with his tires. Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson, and Keith Williams and Brian Boyd are all on 32-lap runs. Chris Brown is on 18 laps on his tires. Andrew Biznett, Paul Bilson, and Ryan Elmore at 26, with Chuck McDonald at 26 as well. And then you got Robin Pardon and Mark Brewster, but Pardon was collected in that last wreck, so they're 19. So if you're looking at that front spot, you got Rawlings and Brown, Pardon, and Brewster on the same strategy. The first three that would have to pit would have to be Zimmerman, Thompson, and Brian Boyd with 33 on their tires, as well as Keith Williams.
Keith Williams, yeah, definitely. So they'll really get this.
So if they're going to take it to where that tank runs dry, you're going to see quite a few drivers. There's going to be quite a bit of separation. And will they have enough time even after that to come back from that to get back in this pack?
Keep in mind, everybody's on the pit, so it's who's going to get on pit road and get off pit road with a quick pit stop and get back in line and start the thread and get you back up front.
Yeah, right now they're just kind of behaving themselves. Before we go through pit stops, why don't we go through the field, Tommy, and take a look at these drivers and give them a shout out tonight.
Christopher Rollins up there. One right now.
Christopher Rawlings out there. He's leading Devin Zimmerman in the second spot. And right behind him would be our two-time season champion of Ethan Thompson right there. 90's got 22 on board this year, so it's good to see Mission 22 join Ethan this year as well. And behind him we got Chris Brown, who's driving the number 1 but showing 8 on the leaderboard. Behind him is Andrew Bisnet in that familiar green, pink, and camouflage car for you, Tom. Showing number 1 with 69 out there on the track. Paul Bilson been in a little bit of trouble tonight. Seems to have a lot of action out here at Daytona, but having a nice rally back to 6. So good to see him up there running in 6th position. Behind him is Keith Williams in that number 42 car, as he's going to just catch that draft there. And then behind him is Canadian Forces driver Chuck McDonald. Saw him get up there, lead a few laps. He tried to get up there and push pro spots, but came up 2nd spot underneath Devin Zimmerman. And then behind him we got Brian Boyd, and Brian Boyd has a big fan club out there in the YouTube land. Puts on a lot of stuff for us. Mission 23 driver. Good to see him out there. So then right behind him that's number 15, Ryan Elmore. Good run from Ryan tonight. I mean, coming out here racing with these guys, standing right now in the 10th position. 34 laps to go in pit stop cycle. So hopefully he can stay up there and we'll have a good one. Absolutely. And then back to the second pack back here with Robin Pardon. Or no, that's not Robin.
I think Mark Brewster is actually ahead of Pardon. My timeline has Pardon up next.
Okay, Pardon, yeah, and then right behind him is Pardon. So we got Brewster right there, then Pardon. And I think they might have swapped positions there to try and get him running. Then Robert Cochran, who had one heck of a run earlier, got caught up in a couple of incidents, and he's now just 2 laps down, just trying to, get back up there and get back in. It's not over. I mean, we've seen a lot of cautions. There's still time for him to get back on the lead lap and fight for the win, for sure. So, Jason Hall in the Good Wrench number 3 car. So great run tonight. Had some issues earlier. 7 laps down, but definitely staying out there. Got to give these guys a lot of credit right now. We started with 25.
Really good early on. He had to sit in pit road, force the requires, and he's still back out on track, 7 laps down, like you said. Out there fighting for every point. Yeah, first race of the season, all these points are going to matter. A little bit of position. Only 7 laps down, they're at plenty of points to pick up as soon as somebody makes a mistake.
And not to mention, he was involved in that first wreck with Brian Boyd, so coming down. So he was our pole sitter.
The first wreck of season 7 does belong to Jason Hall.
Unofficially, that's right, because they extend that out. But 5 cars are out. Arnie Sigmund, Luke Desjardins, Bradley Hunt, Robert McDonald, and Eric Stiles coming out here. It's a tough race. It's plate racing. Back to racing. 32 laps to go. We should start to see pit cycles run through pretty soon. As Jim Carter laps 70, so it's about 2 laps from now. Jim?
Yeah, I believe she was at 70. We did have a caution in between, so between 70 and 75, I believe, you'll be seeing them on pit road. But meanwhile, like they are running single file, I guess they decided, hey, we got enough of 2x2, white knuckle, hold your breath, single file, catch your breath, get some blood flow back to your fingers, and we'll get through this pit stop, and then we'll go back at it again. You know, it's like the big fight. You know, this is the bell went off. We're rested now, and as Christopher Rollins so leads him down the back when they return through. So it's interesting to see how it's playing out. Where you've got Rollins, Zimmerman, Thompson, Bisnet, Wilson, Williams, Brown, McDonald, Boyd, Elmore, Hardin. There's a lot of new names up front in that group. So we have a first-time winner in the Mexican tonight. Williams is really strong. So we'll see what happens after these pit stops. This will separate the men from the boys. Who's ready to be on the pit box, on the pit wall, ready for him to come down and get that pit stop and hit the marks, and that orange cone comes up real quick when you come down the road, and you don't want to get caught speeding.
No, and especially here, it even comes up on you more quicker because you're doing almost 195, 200 miles an hour coming down, and then you got to get that thing woed up.
Yeah, the 65, I believe, pit road speed is, and it's an art, you know, to hit it right. It's good if you hit it right, you hit your marks.
Right, as we see Chris Brown take that outside now. He's jumped up there. Thought he had a little bit of help from Bilson, but Bilson kind of stayed on that bottom side. So now that's going to put a little bit of a hinge in that. He's going to fall back in line. But no, I think he was just testing the water to see if anybody was going to go high with him. Now here's my question. If you are going on that, ooh, so we got a little bit of a bump. Okay, so I guess he said, all right, Bilson, you were supposed to go with me, you didn't. There you go. I'm not happy right now.
Chrome horn. The chrome horn works. The question is who's going to come with who? You know what I mean? They're trying to work out who's on a pit, who's not on a pit. And some deals are going on right now as you're driving, as the crew chief and the spotters are communicating and saying, listen, I can go 4 laps, I can do 3 laps, I can do 2. And then everybody's going to jump in and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And I guarantee you're going to see 3 or 4 different groups come in. I'd say about 3 groups come in on separate occasions coming in. So
42 right now. So 42 run for Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson, Brian Boyd, and Keith Williams. I'm not sure. I know we did have a few caution laps, so we shall see. Pit stop should be starting very soon, within the next lap or 2.
Outside there, not going with them. This close to pit stops, I don't really think you want to test the outside. You want to be down low, kind of getting ready to get in there, and you certainly don't want to be caught on the outside when you're trying to go.
Absolutely, and that'd be really nerve-wracking if you're running second or third and on the outside, and everybody's pitting and there's only the outside. It's a good point, Tommy, and I think that's why you're seeing everybody running single file right now. Is like I said, right now they're playing chess, they're trying to get themselves in position for this pit stop, and like I said, it's going to separate the men from the boys here, and we'll see who's got it on pit road and who doesn't.
And don't forget, this is the first pit stop of season 7. Under green flag, and we all have seen how positions flip and they come in. So,
everybody's coming.
Bisnet last minute. Ooh, we got
Christopher Rollins.
Rollins. He took out that cone. That may be a penalty for unsafe pit. So that's going to hurt our leaders, man. Devin Zimmerman taps the inside wall. Man, we are
room to change those right sides there.
Wow, so he's going to have to back up and get that started. No. So that's going to, so Devin Zimmerman, who got his first 2 stages, first one out, is that the number 1 car? Bisnet hits his marks, gets out, and he's going to bring Chris Brown with him. So this is where the separation is going to take place, because that's a long way to go. These guys, our drivers, are going to have to get lined up. They can't really wait for anybody. There's still got somebody on pit road now coming out. That was a very, very long stop there, guys, for that last car. I'm not sure. That might have been Devin Zimmerman, though, coming out after he had mishaps on his pit road. But, man, we have seen it from the drop of the green flag every season. Somebody has pit road. That seems to be their Achilles heel. You think they might want to practice a little more pit road than racing, especially going into season.
the
This
top of the
definitely
track for
separated
pit
the
exit. Look at him go.
Yeah. Yep, jump on the back of the number 1 car. And they're going.
So
But
wow, I mean,
definitely separated the field, didn't it? We got
that's
2 cars.
separated everybody.
Yeah, I think Devin Zimmerman got the worst of that.
Yeah, the
Making contact, they didn't let pit wall, and of course Christopher Rawlings.
Christopher Rawlings, I think, got the absolute worst of it because he had to have been a pit penalty. So it's probably going to be a stop and go where they had to hold him off for a little bit longer. So he went from first now, and he is showing back in, or he's out of the race, guys. So he dropped out. So it's
Yeah, that penalty would be actually for it's going to be a stop and go. It'll be like 40 seconds hold on the pit road.
and with his internet issues, I guess he decided it was just safer for him to drop out. He's going to take 15th position tonight. So back up front, Robin Parton. Look at that, number 14, Robin Parton out front tonight over Paul Bilson.
Well,
Chris Brown.
With Christopher Rawlings dropping out, I'd like to bring up this young man right here. Chris Brown had some required, spent a lot of time on pit road, but this is through attrition. Fewer laps down, our laps left. He will pick up that point from Christopher Rawlings.
I thought that's Jason Hall, isn't it?
Or Jason Hall. I'm
dropped.
sorry.
Yeah, so Jason Hall is 7 laps down right now with his issues that he had earlier.
He's 7 laps away from picking up another point.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
That's it. So he will get another point. He will move up in position there. So back up front there. I mean, look at this separation that we got here. It's showing Robin Parton in the number 14 car leading. He is on 33. He did not pit. So he stayed out.
Oh, wow.
So Robin Parton stayed out with Robert Cochran. And Robert Cochran is now 2 laps down, 33. If he can go 10 out, that's not going to be enough to get him to the end. That was a surprising move for Robin Parton to stay out. Maybe he's back on a caution.
If I were Robert Parton, if I'm having help with the 90 there, I'd get the 90 up in front of me and be like, hey man, let me save some gas real quick.
Yeah, Ethan, go by me, Ethan. I'll just tug in behind you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's possible. I mean, it is possible that he may be able to make it, but he can't do it leading. He's got to let
And-
around and Biznett around and just tuck behind him and let him run. You know?
Yeah, if I were Robin Parton, I would certainly have Robert Cochran up in front of me. But hey, this is his time to shine. He's leading the race.
That's right. And he's got a 20-second lead over that.
lead over second.
Over second's place. So, and you got second places. I mean, they're kind of disorganized right now. I've been keeping an eye on that. Chris Brown, Ethan Thompson battle back there with Andrew Biznett. He's really not. They're disorganized. I'm not sure what happened to Andrew Biznett, but he fell away from. He started to lose that track.
Parton's coming to pitch now with Cochran.
So they're going to come. All right, so that's going to give it back to the number 1 showing 8 on the leaderboard of Chris Brown. So he's got 14 by his name, 8 on the leaderboard, and 1 on the car. We're not sure where he is, but he is all over the place tonight. As Chris Brown now becomes the official leader after taking it, and he's going to lead this lap now. And look who's on the back door, Ethan Thompson, Andrew Biznett, who was our winner at Talladega, guys. So talk about a race, and there's Jason Hall now just taking it outside, but there's a lot of momentum that has been lost by a lot of these drivers throughout the course of the field, but it's good to see now a driver who had a little bit of an issue. I mean, he did get around, did get into a couple people. Everybody, I think, has had some sort of issue, but the number 1 of Chris Brown is now out front, even leading Ethan Thompson with 21 laps to go, 20 at the line. Jim.
Hang on,
All right.
because I'm showing Martin's still on the lead as leading right now.
That's going to be
behind.
a score
I'm
board
sorry, no.
issue as they cycle through. I think they just did the line.
I'm sorry, he was back to 4th. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Just trying to find out where I'm at here.
The scoreboard can be a real mystery.
That's right.
Well, they all the
basically
technology.
Chris Brown is leading with who's that? Ethan behind him and running second, and Biznett is losing the draft. He's finally got behind Chuck McDonald, I guess. He got behind him, and hopefully they can work together and we're gonna.
I was just thinking, with all the technology that iRacing has brought to the NASCAR circuit, what a great job iRacing does in providing the service for us to race on. Why can't we get live with another track?
That's relevant. It's it can be tricky, can it?
I mean, I'd be
It
happy
varies.
with 4 scoring lines at least. You know, we have to wait for them to come by the line every time for the scoreboard to catch up to what's actually happening on the track.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're sitting in the Grand Prix in a real race with no radio and saying, who's leading? You know,
Right.
who did what?
He went down. What? Huh? Yeah.
This is the most exciting battle on the track right now. Brian Boyd chasing Chuck McDonald. Wilson behind.
And that's for the battle of 4th, 5th, and 6th right there. Wilson, Brian Boyd and Chuck McDonald are together. And these guys are quick. They have made their way to the front a couple of times tonight. So right now, 4 seconds behind.
They're catching up to Biznett here. Biznett's actually kind of pushing it to the left by. He might have some narrow issues. Maybe he's underpowered. They're running in the back.
Yeah, he was behind.
Intimidator.
Oh, he gets around, so he
what
has
happened there?
his net must have had some sort of issue, tire, something. He got loose, came down. I mean, I don't really see him. That's an unusual.
Oh,
Just
that might
get
have been
up.
a little bit of net code.
Oh man, that's
look
gonna.
right-
Single card,
here.
that is not a caution.
They don't touch. They come back around, but he just...
As Bilson just gets right around that. Yeah, that could have been a little bit of a net code there, just forcing him down on the inside. And unfortunately, that's going to end the 3 streak for Andrew Biznett tonight. I don't really see him coming back from that as he is now 20 seconds left down. Or 20 seconds behind the leader, 18 to go.
I sure hope they have a new pace car. I think this net took out the pace car. It was close, so I hope the backup pace car will be out.
Well, I don't think the pace car is quicker for
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, yeah, I'm sure that guy was. Pace car driver was definitely, where are they?
Okay.
Sitting there eating his ham sandwich. Next thing you know, you see a car coming right through you. That's kind of scary.
Well, there's your leaders.
But meanwhile, Ethan is still pushing
There's the gap behind.
Chris around, and we got Chuck and Brian Boyd 3 seconds behind, and Paul Belson is running back there. So they'll get together and see what they can do to move back up on the pack. I believe 3 cars will be faster than 2, but time will tell here.
Right, as Caleb Young comes in, says, come on, Brian. And 420B, 20 laps left. It's about time to get serious. And we've got a bunch of spammers out there, so we won't even acknowledge that one. And then earlier, Jessica said that was a great comment, behaving themselves. She was laughing. So glad we gave you a nice little laugh there, Jessica. Good to have you back out here tonight. Just ignore whoever that is out there in chat, please. We'll try and get that worked out. Yeah, so you know you're popular when we get spammers. As we got now 16 laps to go, coming up on 15, it's time to really get rolling through the front of this field. But 322, 323, they're actually falling back. So 2 cars with Ethan Thompson and Chris Brown have pulled away, and they continue to pull away.
They're holding it. They're holding their own. I mean, I wonder if Ethan will be happy to finish in second and just pushing Chris along, or we'll come up on the lap car now. Get that lap car to be a little mixer for Ethan to be a little pick for him to get around him, because Ethan's got to be very selective on making his move because he has no help. He's all by himself, and with Chris, and we'll see what happens. 2 laps to go, and they're holding their own. I'm really surprised the 2 cars are holding their own compared to the 3 behind them.
And they're not only they're holding their own, but they seem to be pulling away at times as well, as these guys are really trying to get around them there. That was the closest separation, but it was trying to get around that lap car that they just had. 3 cars, but Bilson is off at the back. They they really need to get tucked up if they want to catch on these leaders. Back down to 301, 3 minutes. So, I mean, you got that 3rd car now up there. It's actually slowing those 2 down.
Yeah.
And that's not like what we're used to seeing. Chris Brown, Ethan Thompson, and then the 22 car Mark Brewster, who's 1 lap down. So something should happen. He is in the lucky dog position at the present moment. But as they run now, I mean, you got Chris Brown, Ethan Thompson, Chuck McDonald, Brian Boyd, Paul Bilson, Keith Williams, Devin Zimmerman, Ryan Elmore, Robin Barton, 9, Sir Tom 9, and they are on the lead lap. Mark Brewster is 1 lap down on lap by himself. Andrew Bisnet, after taking that major smash, has now dropped back to 11th. 2 laps down with Robert Cochran, also 2 laps down at 12th. Paul Vosberg simply must have some of him. He's back in the pits in 13th. Jason Hall, who was the last car on the track, in 14th, is now 8 laps down. And so we got 14 left with 13 to go. At the line, it's still Chris Brown, Ethan Thompson just trying to get away, but there's a caution on the field. This is going to change everything.
Heard something.
I'm not sure what.
Is that Elmore? Vosberg. Paul Vosberg was involved with it. He's now on pit road. I'm not sure what happened.
Who is that? Paul Vosberg.
Oh, Paul.
Wow, that's the leaders that.
Oh, the 15.
Man, Elmore.
15 tried to cut the track a little short as Paul was merging, and there was just a little bit of lack of awareness on both of their parts there. Came together and brought an unexpected caution out for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I thought we were going to be seeing Ethan and Chris battle out for the win, but guess what?
And that's, because Elmore was back in that third pack with Devin Zimmerman, Keith Williams. I mean, Paul Bilson, they were back there. I mean, those guys are really working their way up towards Chuck and Brian. But then I don't know where that came from, that Ryan Elmore. I don't know if he didn't see him, but because it looked like Paul was coming out of the pits, so I'm not sure what happened there. But this is definitely going to shake the field up. We're back together again. 12 to go, so guess what? It's going to be one heck of a finish. It's just chimes in. It's been awesome being back. Always miss you guys when Paul is gone, not racing.
I am really shocked that Chris Brown came in the pits. He's coming to get 5 for new shoes and go back out and see what happens. But
well, you got 12 laps to go. You know, they're going to be stacked up. Everyone's going to kind of be intense. I think if they're able to stay together, we should see some 2-wide racing going through. I don't think fresh rubber is a bad idea at this point.
You have 9 cars on the lead lap, so maybe not. But still, I don't know. It's a gamble, and we'll see if it holds off.
But did we not see, who was it that ran from, was that not Christopher Rawlings that ran from 7th to 1st in 1 lap? And then ended up leading for a while. So, I mean, you're only talking 2 spots back. The way these guys are going, if nobody pits, I mean, you do have fresh cycles now with older cycles. So you got Chris Brown. Devin Zimmerman also came down, and Ryan Elmore. So you do have help from a couple of the top guys.
Yeah,
16.
It's a bit of a gamble, but I could see how in their minds it might work. You know, we got a handful of laps left. It's easy to pass on a super speedway, especially when the pack's, you know, kind of jumbling up on a restart. Might be the right call by those 3 that got some fresh good years.
New tires, old tires.
And Mark Brewster puts himself back on the lead lap, so now that's going to be 10 guys on the lead lap. So good now we got 10 guys fighting it out for the top position.
We've seen a lot of these newcomers overcome some adversity here and really put on a good show for us.
You know, and that's just it. You cannot give up. You got to run to the end because you never know how these things are going to end.
Hey, my man running in the number 3 out there. fought back from adversity 3 times.
Still plugging.
And he's still picking up points through attrition.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean,
that's important. That's so important not to quit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's one thing that Dad told us when we were young: never quit.
You know, it's easy to say I'm not going to win the race and just leave, but if you're trying to win a whole season championship, those points matter.
We ran an iconic series, and I'll tell you what: you get in a wreck early, you're running laps, and it gets awful lonely and tired. But at the end of the day, the points is what matters, and that's what you're doing. So it's not fun, but you got to do it. That's racing.
The general rule of thumb is you don't leave the race until you're so many laps down that there's not that many laps left.
True.
Well, if there's 19 laps left and you're 18 down, keep running because you might pick up a point.
If the car is running, my dad always said, you wait for the checker flag. You don't come in before the checker flag drops because you never know.
You never know. I mean, you may not pick up the position, but you're giving yourself that chance no matter what, and you can say, I gave it my best shot. You're not a quitter, you're not giving up, and you're not just throwing your hands in the air. You ran it out, and either the car blew up or you ran it to the end, and you gave your team the best shot you could possibly give it, and you owe it to yourself and to the guys out there. I mean, if you just give up, I mean, it's easy to give up.
Nobody likes a quitter, right?
Nobody likes a
likes
quitter.
Well, here we go, guys. 10% of this
Yeah.
lap, the race left when they take the green, and I expect if you add 100% to that, that's the amount of effort these guys are going to be giving as the pace car drops off here in just a few hundred yards.
Absolutely, as 420B says, hell of a first race to tune into. Absolutely, and Caleb Young says Brian Boyd is about to win his first ever race. I think that's going to be a tall order, but third position, I like that chances.
That's what Brian Wood, they ran Talladega. I wouldn't count him out.
Can't count anybody out. I wouldn't count any of the top 10 out at this point. In fact, I wouldn't even count Andrew Bisnet out 2 laps down and Robert Cochran with 10 laps to go. I would not count those guys out either. So as we take the green flag, Ethan Thompson's going to get off to a heck of a run down in that first. Take that inside line. That's probably the preferred line. He's going to say, if you're going to pass me, do it on the outside, as we've seen these races, one from the outside, one from the bottom. The bottom seems to be the way to go right now, as Ethan Thompson is now leading Brian Boyd up in the second spot right there. As that outside line is start to form on the, trying to get momentum, but they're a little bit.
They're trying to figure out what's happening back there. They'll get it worked out. We're just trying to figure out who's going to be faster, who's not going to be faster, who wants to lead the pack, who doesn't. Chuck won that decision, so he's going to lead on the outside of the lead pack on the outside.
That's a good person to have behind you, especially when Robert Parton and Devin Zimmerman pushing. Paul Bilson, he's kind of like the wild card here. We're not sure where he's running. We haven't really seen a whole heck of a bunch. Oh, as we got Parton get down, that's going to hold it down. Hold on.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. That's it. Cochran's involved again. So Biznet's involved in number 22. Mark Brewster was involved in that. Oh, man. And then we've also got the...
Shout out to Black Rifle Coffee.
Chris Brown, who was leading, who everybody was wondering about that pitch strategy, ends up getting involved in that. So, man, you want to talk about...
That's going to have to take a tow here. And this is an opportunity again for Jason Hall. Maybe a few more points to attrition. 7 laps down, 8 laps left. Just with one driver out, that's 1 more point you got to pick up today.
Yep, 7 to go.
Williams had a really good run going on. Had an opportunity. He's on pit road.
Yeah, just got his. Oh yeah, Williams was running up there. Mark Brewster, he was involved in that as well. Not sure how that's going to help him. He just got his lap back to go out, but now Chris Brown is now out of the race. He must have had too much of his repair for to go. So too many required for Chris Brown, so he's out. So that's probably going to put, yep, Jason Hall now up to 13th, Paul Vosberg 14th. So yeah, Jason Hall moves up.
Yeah, not the race Jason Hall wanted, being a newcomer. This is his first race out of all 7 seasons we've begun here. But you know, position through attrition, he's my hero tonight. Staying out there, running those laps, you know, the hard laps where your laps down, just kind of out there, you know, going around in circles. But here he is. He's probably picked up 4 or 5 points.
Yeah, just trying to stay out of everybody's way, just running a little race all by himself. And
I think he got a point for leading a lap too.
Yeah, and it's just a shame to see Captain Paul Vosberg out there. He had such a great run going, and then just, I mean, issue after issue, and it's, you know, he was running really well there.
Well, we got 2 Mission 22 cars up front, followed by, oh no, I'm sorry, I thought it was both the Canadian Air Force guys.
Yeah, we got Ethan Thompson, Brian Boyd, Chuck McDonald, Paul Bilson, Robin Parton, Devin Zimmerman, Mark Brewster moves up to 7th on that exchange. Ryan Elmore, Keith Williams, Chris Brown, Robert Cochran, Andrew Bisnet, all involved in that incident. And then back to Jason Hall, who's still running 7 laps down.
Jason's getting the lap back. He's all been full up the dog, so he will be 7 laps down.
That's right. So it's there. You never know.
Yeah,
And we
but-
still got overtime, so we got 3 chances at a green-white checkered as well. So there's another 3 laps that he could possibly gain
yeah,
back.
he got the lucky dog because Chris and Robert and Andrew were all involved in that incident, so he did not get involved in the incident. He gets the lucky dog.
What an interesting turn of events. This has been a great race to call, to watch. I wasn't expecting this many cautions. I thought maybe a couple in the early stages. These guys would just race it out, and then towards the end we would see maybe 1 or 2 more. But man, these cautions, just when you thought it was in the bag, here comes another caution. Round them up and back at it again. Caution breeds cautions. And look
Yeah.
who's at the top of the leaderboard. The cream of the crop has risen with Ethan Thompson, Brian Boyd, Chuck McDonald back up front. Paul Bilson had one heck of a run. I mean, he's 4th, 5th. Robin Pardon, there's a name that we've seen come and go throughout there and running 5th. So 6 laps to go. It ain't over until that checkered flag falls, right, Tommy?
Yeah, and we might even see some bonus laps here, and that might bring fuel back into the question.
Maybe. But
Nah,
look-
everybody
look
pitted
at
within
the-
the window, so everybody's good on fuel to go to the end. So last one was 22 down, so we're good.
But
They're good
Devin,
on fuel.
but Devin, who was sitting on inside of pit wall, is now running 6th, and coming back to the front. He's the one of the fastest ones to come through the pack. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Mark Brewster's up there, and Ryan is doing a really good job. Elmore is doing a really good job. So it's anybody's race. It really is. You look at the leaderboard. You got Ethan Thompson, Brian Boyd, Chuck McDonald. You got some newcomers, Bilson, and then Robin Parton's there, Zimmerman, Brewster, Elmore, Williams. It could be anybody's race.
Yeah, a lot of new names sprinkling that top end here.
Yeah.
Nearing the end of race 1, season 7.
I believe Keith Williams had a little bit of a damage there, so
Yeah, and Williams is running a lap down, so he would be eligible for a lucky dog if he can keep it clean if there's another caution comes out.
right, he's sitting on pit road now with
Oh, is he? Okay.
Andrew Bisnet. I think they had a little bit too much damage to take on. So right now, I mean, you still got 8 drivers that are going to be fighting tooth and nail to get to that top spot. We've seen Devin Zimmerman take both of the stage wins tonight. Can he pull out the win? But then we've got our season winner of Ethan Thompson. Is he going to give it up? Brian Boyd hunting for that first win. Chuck McDonald also has been very hungry. He has a couple of top. He was also looking at that win, if you remember, during Talladega. So he's right there. There's a lot of momentum. Paul Bilson, Robin Parton, Devin Zimmerman, Mark Brewster, Ryan Elmore. So let's get this.
3 laps to go.
So here we go. I mean, it is going to be an all-out war. On lap 96, they take the green flag. Ethan Thompson going to dive down on the bottom. With Brian Boyd jumping to the outside, he's going to try and take it now on that outside. He has the lead going into turn number 1, coming out of turn number 2. We're going to be side by side to where Bilson, who has been aggressively pushing tonight, has now Brian Boyd drops out of that top line, drops right in front of Thompson. As you got Thompson, Boyd, Thompson, and I'm not sure who's on that bottom line there. Is that Chuck McDonald also jumped out of that top line down on the bottom and leaves Bilson on the outside with Devin Zimmerman. But you got Robin Parton right there who's going to leave enough room, but Bilson decides he's going to stay up top with Devin Zimmerman. Not really a bad move that you can make, but look at that separation now. As now Boyd has got a nice, comfortable lead coming in with 3 laps to go this time by, and it's the Hornets' Nest is really getting muddled up here. Who's going to make that run? Chuck McDonald has been looking high all night, as he's going to look high this time. Brian Boyd and Ethan Thompson. Martin right there, as those guys are starting to get single file, trying to create that separation. That way when that move does come, they will have enough momentum to hopefully hold off that outside charge. Being led right now by Mark Brewster, who was involved as he jumps back down in the back of that, as well as Elmore. Elmore's involved in there, so where is it going to come from, and what lap is it going to come? They don't have too much time left. Last lap seems to be the one that we're all going to call here, so as we see them just lining up, they're playing nice right now, but it's going to be all-out war here next time by, as we got 2 to go at the line. So now one more time, who's going to make that run? Who's going to go with who? Who's going to stay on the bottom? Because somebody And that's the worst part right now. Somebody's got to go to that outside. Somebody's got to remain underneath. And who's going to make it? Is Thompson going to take that outside line? Hopefully somebody goes with him. If not, McDonald is going to be right there to collect on that inside. Or he could be left out. So, I mean, there's a lot of points on the line right now as the top 8 are battling for position. Going down into turn number 3 as we see somebody actually start to take the outside line. Devin Zimmerman jumps to the outside line. Robert Cochran's going to go with him. Nobody else jumped to that outside line as of yet. That's not going to be that's what Brian Boyd is wanting to see. Nobody else going with him as they are that far back. So here we go, white flag. This is it. Ethan Thompson looks down on the bottom. Brian Boyd's going to block on the bottom. Here comes Chuck McDonald on the outside. He is now going to have help from Devin Zimmerman. There's
a great run, and he's got Zimmerman coming up behind him. So Zimmerman will push Chuck down the back stretch. Oops, and we got a
2, 3 to Bilson, and that's not.
No,
last lap.
Racing back to the line, and these are just like Talladega as we get it lined up. Here we go. Buckle them belts as we come around turn 3. Brian Boyd looking to win this. Chuck, and he is going to have Ethan Thompson one more run coming off of turn number 4. Is it going to be Ethan on the outside to the inside? Ethan, he is just mirror driving right now. Back to the line. He's Brian Boyd as Chuck McDonald comes along, and Chuck McDonald takes the win here in Daytona with Ethan Thompson getting Brian Boyd around. Yet another time that Brian gets snake bit at the end. What another finish. My goodness. These guys cannot keep. Brian cannot catch a break as he just tried to block again. And that's the separation.
Wow.
So Chuck McDonald pulls it out for the win. Ethan Thompson brings it home second.
Look how close that finish was with the bumper.
Brian Boyd third. Man, and it just takes that a little bit.
This is the subject of making the car a little bit wider, and
yeah, I'm backing it up.
And
here.
that's twice now. So.
Yeah, it's a heartbreak when you're leading, you're coming through it, you're at the triangle, and he's doing everything he can to keep it, but Ethan's got the nose down.
And 2 times now.
How fast that happened.
And he's just mirror driving right there. There was nothing that he was just blocking that line. He wanted that win so bad, and Ethan jumped underneath of that double yellow line, kind of put it in a compromising position. But that's just racing back to the line yet another time. Brian Boyd gets snake bit looking at the start finish line. Brings it home third. Still, I mean, top 3. Good way to start the season. Ethan Thompson brings it home second, so he gets good points coming out of it. But, man, Chuck McDonald is right there at the right time. He really didn't follow anybody. He just jumped to the outside, which he's been doing all night.
He was in the catbird seat, and he saw what was going on, so he decided to go up high and to avoid. So it's nice to see Chuck got the win. Like we said, he changed his driving habit a little bit tonight. Got a little bit more aggressive early. Was up front pretty much all night. He's burning it down. Nice from Canada. So,
hard-fought battle by all.
Hard-fought battle. We got to bring him up here. I know he don't really like talking that much, but he is the race winner, season 7, Group 1. So we're gonna make this short, sweet. Chuck, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, sir.
Man, that was an exciting finish there. Why don't you talk us through those last couple laps?
Well, basically, I look at it like this. Back in Talladega, I was making the move on the high side, and I was going to do it again. I've seen Devin coming, and I was going to move up in front of him, and I did, but it fell apart. So I said, well, I'm not going to throw third away. So when we were coming out of turn 4, I was thinking I'm going to go high, and whatever I get, I get. And I seen the leader open up the bottom, and Ethan went down there. I said, I'm staying where I'm at because this is going to be good. and it was good.
No doubt. Congratulations on that W, buddy. I mean, that was one heck of a run you had tonight. Hard fought race all night long. All night long.
Yes, sir. Good race.
Congratulations, Chuck, on the win.
Thank you,
Outstanding job. Really good job. Looks like you got like 16 bonus points through it all too. So
yes, sir.
You got a tremendous jump on the points, and congratulations on the win. You did a great job tonight, driving all the way through, and great strategy tonight, Chuck. Good job.
And
Yep.
those bonus points are going to change the way this series runs all year.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely. We saw tonight, and it was for the better up here in the booth. I know it was a little more cagey down there on the track, but the excitement up here where we were watching, it was impeccable.
Yes, sir. Put the Forces.ca car in first place.
Well,
Woohoo!
I was
Oh,
gonna
way to
say
go.
we got to give you a shout out to your sponsors, but I'm curious. This is race 1. What do you think about race 2 going into Las Vegas?
Well, I'm a gambler. You know what I mean?
Right, there you
I
go.
don't mind. I don't mind gambling a little bit. The difference between here and Las Vegas is Las Vegas, and some of the guys in the booth will know this. I like to sit back a little bit. I'll let everybody burn their stuff up,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
I'll start moving forward. That's just the way I do it.
Kevin
I don't know
Harvick.
why, but I do.
Right.
Yeah, it's true, and that's just the way I do it.
All right. Well, hopefully, we won't sit back there too long with all the points that are on the line as far as top. I mean, the
Exactly.
split. So, got to go
Yep.
for at least the two towards the front and then fall back a little bit. But no, congratulations again. I know you really, like to shy away from us a little bit. You run to the trailer every chance you get, but I had to get you before you got that chance to get out of your car
Yep.
tonight. So
No,
congratulations.
and I appreciate that, sir. It's all good.
All right, have a good one. I'm going to move you back down there, and we'll see you next week. Good start to the season, buddy.
Thank you. Have a good week, sir.
All right.
You too. So there's Chuck, our race winner. Like I said, he's usually one that runs away from us every time I come down there. I think he's probably got the fastest legs on pit road. He's not only the Canadian beaver, but he runs like a frog.
Well, I
And a
was just
rabbit.
thinking, we got Chuck up here in the booth. I got to hear a little bit of that Canadian accent. And I'm thinking maybe we should have these drivers sign some press agreements. If you finish in the
Right?
top 3, you got to hang around for the interview.
You have to. I mean, it's just a rule of thumb. If you finish it, if you don't want to talk to us, then stay out of the top 3. And
Right.
But man, speaking of top 3, I just
Yeah.
ran into Ethan Thompson, who had one heck of a run there towards the end going for Ethan. Let's straight up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Whew.
Man, what a run towards the end. I mean, you did everything that you could. I mean, of course, you brought it home second, but I'm sure that's not the way you wanted to do it, was it?
No, not at all. And I feel terrible, and Boyd's probably mad at me, even though he says he's not. But Boyd's one of my closest buddies, if not my closest buddy in all of TDR. So, I mean,
Hey,
yeah,
from up here, it was a racing deal, man. You're all friends till the end, right?
it's just he left the bottom open, so I just stuck my nose in, and then he threw the block, and that's what called. I think if he had just stayed put, he had the win. I really, I mean, I wanted him to get a win. I know I feel for him, and like I said, hopefully he's not too bothered by me. But
Well, and the difference also is a matter of feet and yards. If that had happened just a little bit later, he might have still had the win backwards. There was
Yeah.
just enough slowdown between the two of you to let Chuck McDonald come by and get that W.
I mean, it's just we're all racers. I mean, you see a hole like that at the end of the race. I mean,
Gotta go for it.
you can't. It's hard to not take it, regardless of who's in front of you.
Hey,
That's
you,
right.
you got to
Yeah,
try.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, even Dale Earnhardt said he'd wreck his mother for a win, so at Daytona.
I'd
it's
push
one
my
of those
mama all the way around to the last lap.
But no, I mean,
She
it's just a
better watch
product
out.
of racing. But this isn't the first time. This isn't the last time. This is every time. We go to a super speedway. This last lap passing and the aggressive blocking on that last lap just leads to these exciting finishes. And I mean, sometimes you come out last place, sometimes you come out first. And tonight you just happen to be in that seat to bring it home second. So congratulations on bringing it home second. I know, like I said, I know it's not the way you wanted to do it, but I know you got some newest sponsors on the car you'd like to thank.
Yeah, so speaking of Boyd, I'll thank him once again because he's the reason that I have Mission 22 on the car. He reached out to them and we got it set up so that way I can help support them. I know it's important to Brian, so want to show my appreciation and respect to both him and Mission 22. So there's that, and then of course McConey, we're always throwing them love. Got my company Thompson Drumworks on the back of the car, and of course Tyler Daniels and back charities always running on board also.
Went through the whole gambit.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, when you're a two-time series champion, you have a lot of sponsors that you got to thank. So, but man, I'll tell you what, that was one heck of a race you had going tonight. It looked like you were at one point. I mean, you were right following Chris Brown, and there was a great separation. Looked like you had these two maybe fighting it out with Chris Brown at the middle part of it, and then that caution came out. Racing around a bunch of these newer guys that you're seeing out there. What do you think the series is going to look like with the point standings and all that?
I honestly, I absolutely love it. I love it so much that we had so many new guys show up, and then it's just going to sound ironic, but once again, thanks Brian, because I know that he was a big part of pushing to get more and more guys in here. So definitely appreciate him doing the recruiting, and the whole stage thing obviously is going to make things very interesting throughout the rest of the
Yes.
season.
Yes, we saw it
Um,
tonight, and I was curious what your thoughts were on the level of intensity coming to lap 25 and lap 50.
yeah, and that's it, it definitely it definitely messed me up that they're in that first one because I got hit from behind by somebody, but it definitely raised it to the point where I was not sure if I was wanted to take the risk to even get the stage points or not, but luckily I was able to get some in the second one.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing if the racing is like this the rest of the season. People jockeying and battling for position and willing to put their nose in to, get an extra 2 or 3 points. I mean, that's something that is definitely going to add to the excitement of the new vets and first responders, how they got it played out. So we look forward to seeing what the season holds.
Yeah,
Congratulations
I've
on
got
your second.
one last thing for Ethan before we let him go. While I got the B&B logo up on the screen, so you're now a two-time season champion. So you'll have another one of these trophy boards. You probably haven't got the second one yet, but what are these trophy boards like? Can you tell the guys out there that are watching back, the guys that were in this race watching the replay, what are the trophy boards like? Are they that cool to hold in your hand?
They are pretty cool. So I mean, if you want to try to think about the size of it, think about having a full screen YouTube video up. Well, I say full screen, I'm talking about just the normal size. So I mean, it's probably, I don't know, maybe about the size of a sheet of paper or so. So I mean, it's decent sized. I mean, think about a plaque, but it's a custom made wrap by B&B, and it's got my name on it. It's got all the TDR sponsors and those that are affiliated with it, and it's got whatever season it may be. Of course, for mine, it was the one I have right now, currently season 5, waiting on season 6. It'll say that and champion on it, and it's got some military style artwork on it, so it's all completely custom made, which is pretty cool. It's tailored just for us.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Jeremy Beichner, the guy that runs B&B Wraps, takes a lot of pride in these trophies. He actually custom designs each one, so the one you're getting is going to look completely different from your Season 5 trophy. Likewise, the one for Season 7 will be completely different as well.
Yeah, and
He
that's
takes a
going to
lot of
be,
pride in the design work.
yeah, that'll be really cool, and I'll be sure to let everyone see what it looks like when I do get it.
Yeah, we look forward to it, and we'll try to share his post as well, because Jeremy will live stream when he prints those.
Awesome.
All right. Well, we're going to get you down there, get you all sorted out. Congratulations on your second place win. Congratulations on your second championship in a row. So 2 seems to be the magic number. Hopefully we can get you in that number 1 spot again throughout the rest of the season. I'm going to put you back down there with the rest of the guys. Got a couple more guys I need to talk to for wrapping this today's race up. But good to see you out there, and good luck the rest of the season.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Woo! I'll tell you what, I'm going to try and pull up. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I did run into Brian Boyd, so hopefully he's a little downhearted right now, and I can understand that. But Brian Boyd, Jay up in the booth, how you got?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh,
Hey,
man,
Brian,
you
how you doing?
almost had it, buddy.
If we were playing horseshoes and hand grenades, right?
Oh,
Yeah, that's it.
I was just telling Ethan, who came in second, I was like, that was a matter of feet and yards. If that had happened a little later on the track, you could have still had first place backwards. But just,
Yeah.
just a little bit too soon, and someone came in and took advantage of it.
Yeah, well, I pulled that because I was expecting Ethan to try and come up high to make the move, coming off a 4, and so I was kind of like trying to guard center of the track so I could see which way they were going to go, and I thought I had made it just narrow enough to where there wasn't a lane, but there was. So
Yeah. It is
But
what it is. It's not what you wanted to finish, especially when you had it right there in your grasp. But I told Ethan, I was like, I'm sure you don't have any hard feelings. It's a racing deal, and it's super speedway racing. Just to be in the top five, you're lucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's super speedways, restrictor plates, whatever way you want to word it. I
Yeah,
mean,
and now adding in those stage points, the level of intensity that picked up at a quarter way through and a halfway through, we're lucky to have more than 10 cars that finish the race.
I don't know if you noticed when I backed way out of the top 10, I want to say it's probably a quarter or maybe even halfway. I said, nope, I want no part of that. The bonus, you guys can keep the bonus points. I would rather finish further up and not have any bonus points. So
Well, you finished very well.
right.
You're on the podium, and we're talking to you here.
Well, that's
yes, sir.
twice now that you've actually looked right at the finish line and just haven't made it there in that top spot. But you've got to be proud of the way that you have ran the past couple of speedway races. You have what it takes. You know the time to go. It's just putting it all together. And right now, I'm not sure if playing hand grenades and horseshoes might be a luckier strategy right now with the way things are going.
I, I mean, you know, that's a glass half full type question.
But
Right.
you did pick up 10 points in your bonus points.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it for sure.
Absolutely. So
Even
yeah,
though,
that's
even
10 more
though
points you didn't have when you went in. So
those staging, the stage racing, that's that's rather nuts.
yes, it is.
Well, we love it up here in the booth. It
We
gives it
love
really
it.
good
I mean,
racing.
get out of it.
Oh, I'm sure, but my heart was pounding like for like I don't know 25 laps when we were side by side for I don't know. It felt like forever, but it was probably only like 5 or 10 laps.
That was only a lap. That's all
I,
right.
and I
Only
found a chance to get out of it and get away from those guys and just grab a hold of the tail end of their draft and just ride there and wait. And
Well, the army will
shoot,
definitely be happy that we're giving you your cardio anyway.
yeah, literally.
No doubt, no doubt.
The super speedways, anyways.
yeah, yeah.
No, but
Uh,
you're definitely a good race that you ran. They had a lot of fans out there. Mission 22 seems to be one of the important goals. Whether you finish first, last, doesn't matter. So you have on the hood. So why don't you talk a little bit about them?
Mission 22, I can't thank them enough for sponsoring me and then allowing me to bring two other guys into the mix there with Devin and Ethan. Uh, Devin's also going to race it in the other league that he races in, so we get more eyes on that Mission 22 logo and more eyes on the cause. Try and get that from 22 a day average to 0.
Right. Absolutely. We need it down to 0, and that's for sure. But man, I'll tell you what, you had a good run. Another impressive super speedway. You seem to be able to be figuring these things out. I thought you had your win, and you had 420B out there. I'm not sure who that is, but he was going for you. Your normal fan club was out there tonight. Your mom was out there. Everybody was out there pulling for you. Big fan club. Big thank you for everything that you've done to bring 20 guys in tonight and put on one heck of a show. So congratulations on that, and thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you guys so much for having all of us and doing this for us. Without you guys, we don't have no broadcast.
Well, without you guys, we wouldn't have any freedom. So it's our pleasure.
Well,
Absolutely.
I love it. So thank you guys again so much.
You are quite welcome, and thank you for everything that you do. Like we say every week, it is our pleasure to bring these things to you and give back what we can't give back to our country and do our little bit of service to point you guys out for everything that you do for us every day. I'm going to get you back down there sort of with the guys. See you next week in Las Vegas, and let's see if we can't get that W there, huh?
Yes, sir.
Roll the dice.
You're right. Yeah, roll the dice, and we'll see where it comes out. All right. So that was good talking to Brian down there. And man, I'll tell you what a run tonight. I mean, these guys put on one heck of a show.
Before we close out, do we have any of the new names down there?
All of the new names are out. They've all packed up the haulers and headed out for the evening. I guess they're going to go back.
I hope they listen to the very end of the broadcast and know that, maybe after Las Vegas, we might like to talk to a couple of the new guys.
I'm sure they'll rewatch this and get back. That'll get out there.
It's worth rewatching. I mean, I might want to rewatch this. This was excellent racing out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Elmore finished 5th, Mark Brewster 7th, Paul Bilson's 8th, 9th. I mean, they did really
Yeah,
good.
Keith
I mean,
Williams, top 10. Jason Hall, my
hmm
boy, attrition, fighting back from
10,
7 laps
10,
down to round out 11th.
yeah, crazy. So, but what a great race. I mean, the stages were just definitely from the green flag to every lap was, except when they're under caution, was you're at the edge of your seat. Like I said, my ankle's still a little swelled from falling off the stool in the first wreck, but other than that, I mean, it was a great race, and congratulations to Chuck and Ethan coming in second, and Ethan feeling so bad, but there was a hole, and it's a last lap, and yeah, friendships, buddies, whatever, you're going to fill the hole. I would have done the same thing, and unfortunately, the hole closed up, and that's what happens. But I mean, Brian coming home third, still, it was a great job backwards, finishing third. So my hats off to each and every one of the guys tonight.
Absolutely. Tommy?
Oh, I was going to let you get some final thoughts on Jay before I close it out with the
All right, yeah,
sponsors
I'm
and
gonna do
whatnot.
the final rundown tonight. Was Chuck McDonald was your winner. Ethan Thompson brings it home second. Brian Boyd third. Robin Porton fifth. Brian Elmore fifth. Devin Zimmerman sixth. Mark Brewster seventh. Paul Bilson eighth. Robert Cochran ninth. Keith Williams 10th. Jason Hall 11th. Chris Brown 12th. Andrew Bisnet 13th. Paul Vosberg 14th. Christopher Rowling 15th, Barney Sigmund 16th, Luke Desjardins 17th, Bradley Hunt 18th, Robert McDonald 19th, and your 20th spot was Eric Styles tonight. And that's the final rundown tonight. What a race. Look forward to it going in. Season 7, Daytona, new drivers, new faces, new season, new everything. And it did not disappoint
Absolutely not.
one bit. So who's going to gamble next week out there in Las Vegas? I guess we're going to find out. But Devin Zimmerman leading, taking home the top, two stage races, and Chuck McDonald bringing home that third. So, hey, we're back to that battle again, guys. So, cream rises to the top. But Brian Boyd's got his name right there, and he finished third on the podium last year in the season championship. So, with a great run like that tonight, if he can keep it up, he may be battling Ethan for the championship this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see a lot of people battling for the championship, especially with these added bonus points. That's going to be a big equalizer, especially for a lot of the guys that don't run up front every night. Those stage points are going to come into play, especially as we get midway through the season. We're going to start seeing a lot of names up there that we haven't seen traditionally, and I think that's a good thing for the sport.
Yep.
No, absolutely. And I think that's what we need too. Jim, got any thoughts on that?
No, I like the idea with the stage points. It definitely brings a different it brings a different event to the event with the points. You never know, you know what I mean. So you got to do your best you can to get the most points you can in every race. They race every race like it's the last, and you want every point as possible out there. So I like it. I really like it. I like it without the caution, so they continue to race, so it doesn't slow the field up. I like that idea. So we'll see how it plays.
That's it. I mean, that's all you can hope for. But if anything, if the rest of the season is like tonight, we are in for one wild ride here in season 7 of the Vets and First Responders League. Thank you to everybody out there in YouTube land. Caleb, Jessica was in tonight. 420B was out there. Old Porky, yeah, baby, there you go. You brought home that win. So Old Porky brings it home. Our Canadian Beaver Chuck McDonald got it. Great, Chuck. Thank you for coming out of your shell and talking to us. Wonderful to have you up there. Great win. I mean, you were strong all night, so it wasn't like you backed into that. You led some laps. Way to go there. Congratulations. But thank you to everybody out there for all your service, everything that you do. In the YouTube land, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. There are talks about maybe bringing on a couple more televised events throughout the course of the TDR season from now till the end of the year. So
Yeah.
you'll know when that happens.
Next couple weeks, we should be working on some of that.
Right. From me up here in the booth, I'm about ready to hand over to Tommy to take us out from the same back time, same back channel. Next week, 8 o'clock, we'll be coming to you live from Las Vegas. Tommy, take it away.
Yeah, more stage points to come at Las Vegas next week. One last shout out to all of our sponsors out there. First and foremost, B&B Wraps. They signed on season 1 to provide trophies. They provided all 6 seasons worth of trophies. They're going to provide trophies for season 7. Facebook.com/B.B Racing Wraps. If you have a race car, if you have a little tuner car you're working on, if you have a helmet or a coffee cup, from coffee cups to semi trucks, they can wrap it for you. Facebook.com/B.B Racing Wraps. Go check out Jeremy's team. They do a great job over there. Of course, back charities, helping keep the fun and funded. All this stuff running. Follow our YouTube page, follow our Facebook page for everything going on for our future charity events. McConey Setup Shop, all the support they provide, not only to us, but the iRacing community as a whole. The Tyler Daniels Racing community for providing these races every night outside of this race that isn't broadcast. Tons of great guys over there racing, and these are the veterans and first responders that happen to race in those leagues. A quick shout out to YouTube for what they do, iRacing for the service they provide us, simracingapps.com for some of the help with the telemetry, XSplit broadcasting software for helping us put this on. From Back Sports, on behalf of Jim, Jay, and myself, we will see you soon. And we're out.